orí kan ni wa kí gbogbo wa pé ṣe láfíà ni mo bá wa. Welcome to the Koikimedia live transmission. Yorùbá Nation ó ṣì ń tẹ̀síwájú náà ni. A dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run pé a ní bàbá tó dá tó gbé wa sí ìrìn àjò tí a lè dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Bàbá wo là ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn? Bàbá wa Professor. Àmì beauty àmọ̀ pé ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wà grandma ọlọ́run ajá máa rí yín bá ọlọ́run ní dáárín gbogbo wa rú gbogbo àwa tí a gbéṣẹ́ Oòduà dání ọlọ́run ní dáárín wa rú. Ẹ má yẹ kí a give up, ẹ má yẹ ká rò pé ṣé gbogbo ẹ ti wá rí bó ṣe rí àti pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan. A dúpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè. Mo kí bàbá mi Ahmed Jimoh, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ilé mùsùlùmí ni wọ́n ti bí mi. Mo kírun ju kí ló dálẹ̀ lọ. Ó kírun tó mi wàláì. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin àfáà wa. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin pásítọ̀ mi. Èmi a máa ní tí bá lọ sí church lọ́dọ̀ ìyá àdúrà tó bá ti wọnú ẹ̀mí lọ inú mi máa ń dùn ni torí pé gbígbàdúrà òun ni àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Mo ní àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè fún gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe. Ó ní prayer kan tá máa ń ṣe ní ọjọ́ Tuesday, èmi àtàwọn àwa mẹ́fà ni. Àtún gbọ́dọ̀ gbẹ́lòmíì wọlé. Ẹ̀yin náà lè dá tiyín sílẹ̀. Mo kí bàbá mi, ẹ ti bínú sí mi bàbá wòlíì Adéyẹmí. Mo promise wọn pé bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ change kékeré kan kí n tẹ̀ fi ránṣẹ́ kó bá mi fi ra baby milk fáwọn ọmọ wàláì. Backup team ẹ rán mi létí pé mo fẹ́ fi change kékeré kò pọ̀ náà yàbí 10,000 kọ́kọ́ fi ra baby milk. Ẹ má bínú sí mi bàbá. Ọ̀nà pọ̀ gan wàláì. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin wòlíì. Àwọn ò ní church bí àwọn bàbá Débóyè tí kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ wọ́n. Àwọn ló tún fún àwọn ọmọ ìjọ lówó. Bọ̀rọ̀ àwọn bàbá Débóyè nísìn àwọn redeem àwọn wà connected. Tó bá dẹ̀ ni wọ́n wà connected. Yẹmí Ọ̀sínbàjò was the vice president fọ́dún mẹ́jọ. Ẹ mọ iye owó tí ó máa go through redeem. Mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn redeemer. Ó láwọn bàbá mi kan tó máa ń pè mí. Mo ní dárúkọ branch wọn torí pé kọ́ má lọ máa sọ pé ẹ̀yin náà ti ń pe Koikimedia. Bàbá yẹn ò lè máa pè mí. Full time redeemer ni wọ́n. Mo dẹ̀ ní sọ́ọ̀lù tó wà. Wọ́n pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ o ní UK l'Amẹ́ríkà àtàwọn ti Nàìjíríà pé lótìtọ́ àwọn ò ní lè jáde káwọn pè sórí program ẹ̀ tí ó ṣeé ṣe kí parish wọn mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti pe Koikimedia pé ẹ̀yin náà máa ń gbọ́ Koikimedia. So but àwọn ń fi ẹ̀mí bá ìrìn àjò yẹn lọ. Wọ́n ní káwa má give up, ká fi tó kù sílẹ̀ fáwọn káwọn máa bẹ Ọlọ́run lórí ìrìn àjò yìí fún wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé ẹ bá wa máa gbọ́ wọlé share button. Mo kí àwa Ìyábọ̀. It's a very very light program. Ẹ rí pé mo ti fi ìrùkẹ̀mí síbi ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀mí tó mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọba àlúwa ó ti sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí tọ́ba bá dẹ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó sọ abẹ́ ti gé ni so a máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa King Charles kí ló dé tí tọ̀dọ̀ tí wọ́n yàtọ̀ sí tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa mo kí àwa Ìyábọ̀ Olúbùnmi mo kọ́kọ́ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àti Yorùbá tó ní òun ò believe in Yorùbá nation àmọ́ òun máa lọ protest ó ní right láti lọ protest argument kan jáde pé ẹ má yẹ kó lọ dẹ ìkorú o tó bá ti fẹ́ protest àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò ẹ jẹ́ kó gbé protest wọn lọ sí Àbújá ẹ ní right lóòótọ́ láti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ pé kó má gbé protest wá sí Lagos State pé kó gbé lọ Àbújá kó má dàbí ti EndSARS tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń jó gbogbo nǹkan lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìran Yorùbá nìkan ló kàn ó kan everybody lóòótọ́ àwọn kan lè ní Peter kódà mo ń gbọ́ pọ́n ní Peter Obi wọ́n sọ pé kó travel out I don't know how true that is so that kí wọ́n lè jẹ́ kí protest yẹn kó milẹ̀ ìntọ́ sọ ni pé gbogbo state ní káwọn èèyàn ti jáde fáwọn tó fẹ́ protest lè stop protest o protest kéré kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ Lagos State nìkan tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣí pọ́ọ̀tì ẹlòmíì tó jẹ́ pé Àpápá nìkan ló ṣiṣẹ́ for a very long time ẹ gbé gbogbo Àpápá ẹ gbé dúró ẹ lọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo àwọn waterways tó kù so for me in tó bá máa fa Nàìjíríà sísàlẹ̀ mo wà lórí platform kan àwọn méjì kan bára wọn ń dù sọ́tún sósì ìkànnì tó bá bà nǹkan jẹ́ a máa tún ṣe lọ́jọ́ iwájú ìkànnì no a lè allow káwọn Biafra I don't want us to use that word Biafra sí àwọn kan tó kan Biafra pẹ̀lú protest yín Biafra ń jà pé àtàwọn àti government ẹni máa kú pàdé ẹni máa pa ni ẹni máa kú ó pàdé ẹni máa pa bọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ìtẹ́gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ ni pé kò sí gbogbo tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ lénìí tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì bá fi agídí bá àwọn tó fẹ́ jáde ṣe protest in tó bá kọlu gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àtàwọn protester bí ṣe bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní Bangladesh ìlú kan wà wọ́n pè ní Bangladesh láti bí almost 14 days kódà wọ́n ti gbogbo school kí ló ń jẹ́ school kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ school inú protest ni ó máa yọ anarchy tó bá ti yìnbọn pààyàn nínú protest ní gbogbo àgbáyé ó máa wà rowdy nígbà tó ń ṣe black kinní kan l'Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n jó nǹkan wọ́n bà nǹkan jẹ́ so ẹ má máa sọ pé wọ́n máa bẹ̀ kó jẹ́ máa bẹ̀ kó jẹ́ ara ń kan àwọn Gaza àwọn Gen Z wọ́n náà bínú ìtakùn sọ fún wọn ni pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ kan òun ni kí gbogbo akájọ sọ fún Nàìjíríà pé kólúkálukú máa lọ Black Lives Matter ẹ lọ wo àwọn fídíò tó jáde nígbà Black Lives Matter l'Amẹ́ríkà àwa tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation bàbá Akíntóyè ò ní káwa jáde fún self-determination protest but àwọn Nigerians náà fẹ́ jáde wọ́n ara ń kọ́ àwọn wọ́n ara ń kan wọ́n ara ń kan Gaza gidi and there's a lot happening as we speak right now so tàbá wá jẹ́ pé àwa kan wá ní a fẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation kó dé kí Tinubu tó ṣe tán torí Tinubu ò ní dá wa lóhùn àṣírí lẹ́ ń gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi yẹn ọmọ olódò ọdẹ but àdúrà tí mo kàn ń gbà ni pé gbogbo nǹkan ìjà tí Nàìjíríà ní lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn kí Tinubu pín sí ọ̀nà mẹ́ta bí ṣe sọ ayé ẹ lè máa já ó lè má ayé ẹ lè máa já ó lè má fi kó táwọn ọmọ Ìgbò fún wọn torí wọ́n lè lò against òun but tí north ó gbọ́dọ̀ reduce ẹ̀ ẹ máa pè yín bàbá mi, ẹ má bínú, máa pè yín tí bá parí program. Ìyẹn náà mo ṣe tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ torí ara ń kan Gaza, ẹ̀yẹ wà ń lé gan, ara ọ̀kan yín tó àwà wàláì. So lórí protest tó fẹ́ jáde, on that protest, let anybody that wants to go out and do whatever they have to do. But I understand some of you that are Lagosians. Ẹ má wá bà Lagos jẹ́ o. Ẹ gbé protest yín lọ sí Abuja. Àwọn tó wà ní Lagos ìyà ò jẹ wọ́n. Ṣé Abuja nìkan nìyà tí ń jẹyàn? Ẹ yé máa tanra yín èèyàn wa. Let us be very, very realistic. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ti kọjá ibìkan ni ó máa gbà sí, ibìkan ni kò ní gbà sí. Ní UK, mo follow news kan, kódà tí bá release mic mi nísìnyí bíbá. Mo ń gbọ́ news tí mo ń gbọ́ lórí kò jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo ń gbọ́ tán tẹ́lẹ̀. Bí abẹ́ ni kí n ti kọ́kọ́ gbà wọlé, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Ẹ má yẹ kí n máa dárúkọ torí àsìkò. Torí ẹnu iṣẹ́ la wà. Tá bá wá ṣeré, ká mọ̀ pa wá ṣeré, ká wá ta gúgúrú, ká tẹ̀pà fún yín. But tá bá wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́, because iṣẹ́ tẹ bẹ̀ mí ni pé Koiki máa educate wa, ọ̀rọ̀ òye wa, má jẹ́ ká tanra wa, ọ̀rọ̀ òye wa rárá. Ṣẹ́rí, ọ̀rẹ́ mi lélẹ̀ Steve Hank, ẹ wo picture tó gbé jáde, ẹ ti rí náà, mo ti post ẹ̀. Economy Nigeria ó ti lana. Ṣẹ́rí, cost of living, Jagaban nìyẹn, ó ń fly. Jagaban nìyẹn, ó wà lórí bí atomic bomb ní kíní kan. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n sì ń sọ pé ó wá ní káwọn kan máa jà, ara ń kan Gaza, but àwa Yorùbá nation, ẹ jẹ́ káwa máa gbọ́ àgbọ́yé oyè yìí nísìn. Ọmọ tó bá fẹ́ jáde, mo bẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ lọ bọ̀gún. Ìwọ tó wà Nàìjíríà, èmi gan ti rán wọn pé kó bọ Ògún ti tèmi náà. Lọ bọ Ògún kó dẹ̀ bọ Èṣù. Ìwọ tó bá yẹ pé Kristẹni nìyẹn, o mọ bó ṣe máa bọ Ògún, o dẹ̀ fi get involved in that fetish. Ìbò tó máa ń lò nìyẹn, wọ́n ní fetish ni. Àwọn òyìnbó wọn ní kúre, wọ́n ti bà nǹkan jẹ́. Àwa máa pè nǹkan bàbá ńlá wa ní fetish torí wọ́n ń tẹ́po sí. Wọ́n á yan obì pátá, ṣó dé, ṣó ṣí, gbogbo tá à ń lò. Ẹgbọ́n tí bàbá Tibetan sọ, Tibetan ní what happened to your network? Kọ́kàn ṣe network mi ò bí aládọ̀dọ̀ yìí. Ṣé Nàìjíríà rẹ̀ ti ń wò mí? Ẹ bá wò mí láti Nàìjíríà yìí lẹ ní problem. Èmi lè mi lo wifi tó dúró dá. Laptop mi kan ṣiṣẹ́ so kò jẹ́ àti lose platform kan, a lè lọ lórí Twitter space. Laptop yìí wọ́n yẹ fún wa lówó ká invest. Media gbọ́dọ̀ máa struggle, but ẹ má jẹ́ ká béèrè owó nísìn torí kán máa ní pé torí owó la ṣe ń jókòó. Now mo ń gbọ́ program kan lọ kí n tó lọ gbọ́ news. Ìyẹn ìyàwó mi tó wà ní India yẹn, ẹ̀yà àmọ̀ ìyàwó mi Vantage ní sùúrù arákùnrin. Mo ń gbọ́ program yìí, ẹ jẹ́ ká advert yẹn lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ mute àwọn onímúlà oní advert. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Like I said, I won't be mentioning name because a ti wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́. Mo dẹ̀ pẹ́ náà ń dúró dè mí pé Koiki gbórí wọlé, àlàáfíà ni mo wà. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, mo kí dáadáa. Pé nígbà tó tẹ̀ lóyún wa wọ̀ tẹ̀ wash away, àìmọye àwọn oyún tó ti wash away báyìí nísìn. Program tí mò ń gbọ́ yìí, 2 years ago ni wọ́n ṣe, kò ń ṣe program Nàìjíríà, program àwọn òyìnbó ni. But headline yẹn, the UK government proposed amnesty for legacy crimes. Kí ló gbé mi débẹ̀? Àti pé kí ni reason tí mo ṣe lọ sí láti lọ ṣe investigation lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Koiki Instagram, kò ní stable o, mo máa wọlé jáde ni lórí that platform. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbádùn ẹ̀ tí tẹ́ ẹ pé kẹ́ má lọ gbàgbé bí ẹ ti wọ toilet, kẹ́ má lọ tẹpẹ́ ìfẹ́ tàǹbà, ẹ lọ dó sórí Ọláyọmí Koiki àbáwọn platform. Ṣé lórí ilé máa lọ in and out because mo need the phone yẹn láti máa fi play àwọn kankan lórí YouTube torí tí bá ń play látòrí TV mi kò ní jáde dáadáa because distance yẹn síbí báyìí lóòótọ́ ọ̀sán mo wà àwọn ọmọ yín dẹ̀ wà lókè wọ́n ní bàbá ìwọ ló ní pálọ̀ nísìn ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ ṣì wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kó dé wá bá mi láyà tàlàáfíà mo kí àwọn ìyàwó mi mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá so ní bínú mo ti sọ sílẹ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Koikimedia Instagram ẹ lọ sí other platform because tí bá ti disconnected mo lè má sọ fún yín màá kọ́ disconnected ni just kẹ́lẹ́ wà aware pé a ṣì wà live our fully on the live our lórí Mixlr so 3 hours tí máa pé the program should not be more than 3 hours ẹ̀yin tẹ́ lè wo program ní full download ẹ̀ kẹ́ lè gbádùn ẹ̀. Nigerian government and the UAE government want to scam Nigeria. Any color thing scam Nigeria. Everybody don't scam Nigeria. So Nigeria has been scammed. Láti 1914 lọ́tí scam Nigeria. So kò máa kí n kàn jọyín lójú. Program yìí in tó gbé mi débẹ̀ kí kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀yẹn náà. Ẹ jẹ́ n lọ sórí YouTube mi. Wọ́n pè nǹkankan ní okay, let's put it this way. Lórí routers, èèyàn mélòó ló mọ routers? Táwọn èèyàn bá gbé news síta má tún lọ máa sọ pé o fẹ́ confirm genuine ni REUTERS routers very powerful platform àti AFP. So the headline tó jáde ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa lénìí ó ní British government to scrap Northern Ireland amnesty scheme. I'm a red line here. I was a little bit like, okay. Gbogbo nǹkan náà ni ọmọ. Bí wọ́n bá tẹ̀ mọ́ kankan, ìwọ náà tún sáré lọ ka díẹ̀ sí so that kó lè ní ìmọ̀ ẹ̀ díẹ̀. Ìyẹn ni tẹ́ bá wá sórí platform yìí. Eléyìí ń ṣe platform tó ti ń ta kúlíkúlí o, tó ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ Mohbad o, sí tó kàn mí pẹ́lú èmi gan need the justice. Ìwà yóò sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ má bínú, a sọ̀rọ̀ kó àtòbò níbí báyìí o lè lọ sọ́dọ̀ lẹ́gẹ́ tó ń ṣe déètì oríṣiríṣi platform ló wà tó bá wá síbí by orí self determination là ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ọ̀nà tí Nàìjíríà bá fẹ́ gbà pé ni I don't care tó bá jẹ́ pé protest ló máa laná ẹ̀yin ẹ má bà kinní kan jẹ́ èmi ò ní sàn kankan tó ti bá sọ nísìn tèmi lẹ máa mú àbọ̀rọ̀ mòye nísìn anything tó máa da Nàìjíríà rú lèmi ń gbàdúrà lójoojúmọ́ tó ìlú yàn gbọ́dọ̀ sustain again àfi tá a bá ń parọ́ fúnra wa. British government to scrap Northern Ireland amnesty. Catholic kọ́kọ́ lè ní understanding ẹ̀. Àkọ́kọ́ láti kọ́kọ́ lọ mọ̀. Ibo ló ń pè ní Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland. Mo dẹ̀ ń kà ní so that kí brain yìí ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ jù pé kíyàn tún máa forí agbárí gbé lọ. Northern Ireland is a part of the UK. Or United Kingdom in the northeast of the island. Àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà lọ́bẹ̀ nígbà kan fún wọn níwèé lọ́bẹ̀ bàbá lẹ́kìtì mú kí yẹn káwọ̀ sórí kan ní wa. Àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n gbàwé rẹpẹtẹ tó bá ti lóyún ṣàgbóyún lọ sọ́nà gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n sì fún wọn níwèé níbẹ̀ o má bí mi pé báwo lọ ṣe ń ṣe visa tó bá lè find ara ẹ̀ débẹ̀ bọ̀ ṣé bàbá lẹ́kìtì ó kàn tó wà lẹ́kìtì la máa kó kúrò la máa kó wá sí London la máa kó lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà torí pé a fẹ́ gbàwé 15 years ni mo fi ń jà fún ọ̀rọ̀ immigration mi so ìwọ tó ṣe dé máa pọ̀njú mo wá gbàdúrà pé tí ẹ náà kó pé 15 years àwọn tó ti lò 40 years 30 years èmi náà ti lò 20 tèmi máa pé 25 years tí mo ti ń gbé nílùú yìí kẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ wèrè election tẹ́ ń ṣe ní 1999 lèmi ti kúrò Nàìjíríà ní 1998 gbogbo bá ní máa sọ fún yín but Northern Ireland wọn ló share border pẹ̀lú south àti west báwa náà ṣe share border pẹ̀lú Benin Republic àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa tó bàbá lẹ́kìtì ló lè ròyìn tán fojú wé tó bá ń lọ Benin Republic kọ́nà máa bá ń fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ wọn bó ṣe ń lọ tó ń bọ̀ torí pé Benin yẹn a sì máa lọ́bẹ̀ until tí Yorùbá nation máa fi dé ta lè sọ pé yes gbogbo a máa padà sílẹ̀ lérí wa tó ń pè ní Yorùbá land torí pé ilẹ̀ lórí yẹn tó bá ní kò ní dé kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ èpè kò ń sọ̀rọ̀ pàǹdẹ́nu in tó máa mú dé ó ń súnmọ́ díẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ àárín wọn máa dàrú ní Àbújá ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò ní yéra wọn mọ́ so ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Gbogbo population Northern Ireland, ṣé ń gbọ́ mi, 1.8 million, kò pé 2. So ìlú kan wà, wọ́n pè ní Northern Ireland, ó bẹ lábẹ́ UK, àwọn mú mẹ́rin dání, wọ́n mú England lèmi ń gbé, Mayegun General, tẹ máa ń gbọ́ yẹn, Mayegun làwa mọ̀ o, Scotland lòun wà, wọ́n pè ibìkan ní Wales, wọ́n wá pè ibìkan ní Northern Ireland, ó di 4. Now, ìjà tí ń lọ láàrin Northern Ireland yẹn pẹ̀lú UK for a very long time. There have been a lot of crises. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ padà lọ sí the Good Friday Agreement. The Good Friday Agreement. Bill Clinton ló wà lórí oyè. Ẹ sọ fún Tinubu pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation àtàwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù tó ń pariwo, ẹ má jẹ́ kó lọ di in tí kò necessary. Ẹ jẹ́ ká yanjú ẹ̀ amicably. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn gómìnà tẹ́ ń pọ́nlé yẹn, tọ́rọ̀ yẹn bá débi tó yẹ kó dé, ìmí ò ní wọ pátá jáde. Kò ń ṣe pé ẹnu. Sójà máa pààyàn, tó bá yá ó máa sún sójà. The Good Friday Agreement yẹn, just as bó ṣe ń parí ẹ̀ lèmi wọ̀lú yìí, Tony Blair ni Prime Minister níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Ìyẹn Tony Blair, mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ gan kó tó di pé ó tó wá kó wa lọ ja ogun tó máa ń jà wọ́n fi ń build economy àwọn ìlú kan ni. So kí la fẹ́ para wa fún nígbà tá a bá lè yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí amicably, but àwọn olóṣèlú ò ní fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́yìn ọjọ́ amicably, ìyẹn ló máa di sùúrùtù, torí pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń fà yìí àwọn máa rò pé àwọn máa escape, tí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá dàrú báwọn máa sá lọ, they will not be able to sá lọ. Gbogbo àjọ máa wà nù Nàìjíríà yẹn ni tí sùúrùtù yẹn máa dé. Ẹ yẹ kí n kàn fún yín ní the guide a little bit about the Good Friday Agreement. Mo ń bọ̀, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ béèrè pé àwọn èèyàn ń béèrè lórí Google, kí ló parí ìjọ̀gbọ̀n ní Ireland? What ended the troubles in Ireland? Trouble wà nínú Nàìjíríà nísìn. Everybody pretend kò sí trouble. Àlàáfíà Ọlọ́run fẹ́ nínú Nàìjíríà. Àlàáfíà Ọlọ́run kankan fẹ́ o. Ara ń kan Gaza burúkú. Mo sọ lánàá pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ọ̀rọ̀ omi gbóná ni. No vex, my Biafra brother, because sometimes this my language, when I don't put my mouth inside, to remove my mouth, it dey sweet me like honey. But I know say some of you understand my like, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀. Torí a ní agídí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, ó dìgbà tí iná yẹn bá fẹ́ la máa sọ pé ó dẹ̀ ti sá o. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ń sọ nísìn pé ẹ jẹ́ ká yanjú kínní. Ṣèyí Mákindé ò lè ṣe kankan. Wọ́n ló ń dá mi lóhùn, Ṣèyí Mákindé. Tí sùúrùtù bá ṣẹlẹ̀, Ṣèyí Mákindé máa wá the nearest exit pẹ̀lú àwọn security ẹ̀ láti kọ́kọ́ kúrò ní Ìbàdàn. Òun gan nílé wà nílùú Ìbàdàn. Nígbà tá bá bombard gbogbo bí tó yẹ ká bombard, wọn ò ní lè dúró. Wọ́n kàn máa rán àwọn sójà pé ẹ dí pẹ̀lú wọn. Tó bá dẹ̀ sún sójà gan máa sọ pé ọmọ in táwọn rí ó máa di tó máa pè ní mò ń bọ̀, ẹ máa ti lọ. A ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ní ojú ń kún ẹ. Lọ top up fóònù ẹ kò sí ìdẹ́mọ́kàn lọ ra credit sórí ẹ̀. What ended the troubles in Ireland? Kò sílùú tí kò sí trouble. Kò sílùú náà lágbàáyé. India, mò ń gbọ́ news yẹn lọ. 2,500 people lọ ní ìdí fún iṣẹ́ kan. 25,000 ló dà lọ síbẹ̀. Ìyẹn ní India. Every country has their own troubles. Our own immediate trouble now is Nigeria. And there must be an end to Nigeria for the Yoruba people to rise back and become part of the global community. Gbọ́ mi yé. Kí ló fa trouble? Kí ló fa awuyewuye ní Ireland? Kí ló fa ìjà ní Ireland? wọ́n ní conflict yẹn ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 1960 nígbà táwa ṣe ní wọ́n fún wa ní òmìnira bí baba lẹ́kìtì lọ fún wa wọ́n fún wa lómìnira kankan. We will never ẹ má jẹ́ káwọn àwọn olè àwọn analyst táwọn máa jókòó àwọn ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ báwa báyìí inú ibẹ̀ lọ ti ń jẹ gbogbo wọn pátápátá. And that is why tó bá lọ ń gbọ́ mainstream media wàá sọnù onímọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. ó kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. The conflict began in the late 1960s and is usually deemed to have ended with the Good Friday Agreement of 1998. Kódà agreement yẹn báyìí ó mì bí ẹkùn tó fẹ́ já ni kò tí ì já o but ó mì. Bí a ní sì ti Labour Party débẹ̀ wọ́n lè slow it down. So what we are saying is that let's find a solution to all the crises affecting us today in Nigeria. If not, there is trouble. And they will say, there is fire. Kindergarten, there is fire on in the comment section. There is fire on the mountain. Oh my God. Kọ́ máa pè ó àgbákọ̀ rárá because tá bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ program tó ti rí pé mo go live mẹ́lá máa fi phone máa fi disturb èèyàn kọ́ máa pè not taking any calls. Kọ́ sínú comment section mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. There is fire on the mountain. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, the Yoruba must say no to one Nigeria. Run. Ẹ̀yin lọ sí kindergarten. There is fire on the mountain. Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀. Enijobi sọ pé run. The rest of you don't know the triple DRS ní run. Bàbá lẹ́kìtì ẹ̀yin ọmọrin yẹn ni. Àbí public school ẹ lọ ni. Kẹ́ mọ́rin yẹn. Tọ́mọ ní there is fire on the mountain. Run. There is fire on the mountain. Run. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ Ọlásùnbọ̀ Kóìkì ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ọba kan mi nìyẹn bàbá wa bí wa dáadáa àwa bí 19 ìyàwó bí 5 ìdààmú ọdẹ ní àwọn girlfriend náà kọ́lọ́n wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa àdúrà wa máa gbà ni kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ brother mi ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀ kò ń ṣe bí ti Tinubu a gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà òun ni kò jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa lọ síwájú. There is fire on the mountain. Run. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà public school èmi náà lọ ta lè lè máa yọ wá lẹ́nu níbí báyìí oríṣiríṣi ló ń wọlé lórí àwọn àtẹ̀mọ́bọ́ ṣe ń Now, if a problem is existing, what do? You find a solution to it. But trying to avoid that solution, what do you think is going to be the end of it? Because the way Nigeria is right now, there is a lot of troubles. There's a lot of crises. There's a lot of problems. What is the solution? Is it a government is working? A government is ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́? Is that what we should be hearing? I'm asking the question. When there is troubles, what should be the solution? Mo kí gbogbo ẹ má bínú àdílé máa dárúkọ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mo kí gbogbo yín náà ni mo ti kó gbogbo yín papọ̀ because a ti wà nínú iṣẹ́ a ti wà nínú lecture room mo kàn kí gbogbo wa pé welcome to the live transmission. Something ignited dialogue. Àwa ní àní weapon tá fẹ́ fi jà because AK-47 kankan is a lot of them is expensive but intani ni pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jókòó ká wo gbogbo tí bàbá kọ fún wa yìí tó ní ká lọ máa fi educate ara wa. A ti wà ní week 9. The good news path to prosperity in our orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Let us sit together. Come to the round table. Come to the round table. I'm a fi sójà dẹ́rù bà wọ́n ni. Okay, no problem. But my job is to first tell the Yoruba people that, look, whatever is about to happen in Nigeria has happened in other countries around the world before. Nigeria will now be the first country in the world. Ní àgbáyé lẹ́ni, ẹ jẹ́ mú map mi kékeré yẹn. Mo fẹ́ mú sórí table lẹ́ẹ̀kan ni mo gbàgbé, because I love to let you see the map of the world. Kó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ speaker mi báyìí, ẹgbẹ́ microphone mi, kẹ́ máa wò. Whatever Nigeria is going through today, countries around the world have gone through it, and they find a lasting solution to those problems. Akalamago, agbọ́dọ̀ má kí yẹn, àwọn media wa ni, mo kí gbogbo àwọn media wa, mo kí wa pé káàbọ̀. But what Nigeria is doing is that, there's problem there. You're going to give them rice. Take the soldier out and use the soldier to Sheruba. Guns cannot solve the problem in Nigeria. If even a war break out in Nigeria, we will still come back to the round table. But by that time, there will be no more Nigeria. There will be no more Nigeria. Why then do we first need to take out ammunition to fight each other before we come to the round table? Gbogbo tá à ń ṣe nísìn, Sanwó-Olú ń ṣe bí ìgbà tó yẹ pé kò gbọ́n tí mò ń sọ, ó ń fix, ẹ wá ní, ẹ má jẹ́ kó bá Lagos jẹ́ o, no problem. Continue the play. That's all I will say. Ẹ máa play. Ìlú tẹ̀yin jókòó sí, tí ẹ ti ń ṣọrọ̀ ajé, ẹ lọ find out bóyá ìlú yẹn wọ́n bá jẹ́ kó tó tuntun kí wọ́n wá dé ní ìgbàlódé Amẹ́ríkà 1970. Ǹjẹ́ mo tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1777 ní Amẹ́ríkà. So when some of you are here saying, ẹ má bà nǹkan kan jẹ́ o, ẹ má bà nǹkan kan jẹ́ o, èmi náà ni ẹ má bà nǹkan kan jẹ́ o. We live in denial. Most of the countries that we are all living today, including this country, when things were going hot, ìwọ gan tó bá fún ẹ ní visa London, wàá reject it. Tó bá fún ẹ ní visa London nígbà tí ó ń hot nígbà yẹn, wàá sọ pé ó fẹ́. Especially when the IRA were bombing almost every part of UK or England. Because the headquarter gangan ló máa gbá sí boss. Ẹ lọ wo history tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Why then are we having stupid politicians? Káàbọ̀ sí London. Ẹ máa tún bèrè pé ta ló ṣẹ̀dé London. Bọ́bá ṣe ń lọ lọ́n sọ fún mi. Speaker of Lagos State arrived in London 2 days ago. If not, 2 days ago precisely. London yẹn lọ like jù. London ló yá sí Nigeria jù 6 hours. Pákà wọ́n ti dé. Pákà wọ́n ti dé. Pákà wọ́n ti dé. The Lagos State Speaker. Ó lè náà wá ṣe meeting. Ó lè náà wá ṣe conference. Wọ́n rí wá ṣe conference. Welcome sir. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sir. Ẹ káàbọ̀. Wọ́n ti fi orí gbogbo wa. Wọ́n ti fi gbá pààrọ̀. Until we say enough is enough. Nigeria is in trouble, but they are running away from the solution. Koiki, the solution is we have, okay, Tebani, end bad governance. Which governance are you going to go and bring again? I'm Gen Z. We're going to add, so we'll send the list to see me, all their demands. Oh, I'll refund me. Omo Elisha will send that to me. All their demands, and I think we can find it. They listed all the demands. And they say, we will end bad governance. So when you end that bad governance, the one that Tinubu is running right now, because to you, it is the look, and in Yoruba, let's make this clear. Ejeka make it clear. It is just unfortunate that Tinubu lo wa níbẹ̀. If anybody, bí Peter Obi náà wà níbẹ̀, Peter Obi ò lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe. The same problem tó fẹ́ erupt nísìnyí náà ló máa erupt o. Forget about the fact that it's because it's Tinubu that is there. That is why they want to protest. Forget about that nonsense. I don't believe that nonsense. I'm not buying into that rubbish. If Atiku was there, they will do the same thing. Even if Showore was there, but you are not going to vote Showore anyway. So the fact remains that only Baba mi Moses Olaniran Mutitan TV me so that I can be seeing my comment. Yeah, Olayomi, you are damn right. It was hell of fire in 1774 in the America between British authorities that were fighting. Jakolu Sholani, bóyá Ọbaṣá wá pín búrẹ́dì fún yín ní London. Ó ti dé, ó wà London báyìí ṣe bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. So let me make this clear. Is either we want Yoruba nation the way we are doing it in a peaceful way, but what about àwọn olóṣèlú ọba dá wa lóhùn? Are you thinking in that direction? Kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ if they refuse to answer us? So you want me to be sitting here 10 years, Abi? Hey, Yoruba nation, no going back. Yoruba nation, no. Mama bèrè owó lọ́wọ́ yín, Abi. Larry Jinoduni, Buhari had already run the country aground before Tinubu took over. It is not even Buhari alone. The country has been run dry since 1914. 45 years. I want to always remind you that the British was operating Nigeria on our behalf after they gave us Nigeria in 1914. Because when people are talking about 1960, the regional government that we got, they destroy it. The Igbo destroy it. Have you asked why the British joined us together in 1914 and then help us to run it for 45 years? And they knew that the only option to just, when somebody won't please you, they know that the regional government was never going to work in Nigeria. Any more British. The British knew that regional government was never going to work in Nigeria because they gave us regional government, but they kept the North to be superior in the military architect of the whole country. Idiot all over the place. Yeah. They destroyed the regional government. I want to know my history. Around bombing. I want Babawa. Around buffoons. They'll be yet talking about regional government. Yeah, we were given a regional government so that regional government, we can all go and manage ourselves. How are you going to manage yourself when they gave the power to the North, to superior among every one of us? So definitely there will be conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest, that conflict of interest is the reason why we are still having difficulties today. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lè ṣoríire nínú Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣépè. Ilẹ̀ wa la máa ti ṣoríire nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kò sẹ́nì kankan tó máa ṣoríire nínú Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣépè. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ìfọ́dọ̀ tí yín ẹ lè má rí dànù kẹ́ máa tanra yín. Let's come back to the island. Why were there troubles in the 1960s? And that trouble went for over decades until they find a solution. The Good Friday Agreement. Imagine from 1960, school, 1960 to 1998. What is the more? I just want a straightforward move. I can post 34 years. 33. 1960. Títí dé 1997, the Good Friday Agreement. How many years was that? Eba mi fi sínú comment section. I will pick it along the line. What ended the wahala, the rògbòdìyàn, the bombing, the killing, the fighting between those that wanted something? Tí mo tọ́ fẹ́ 37 years. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Tàbárẹ̀ ẹni tó lè disagree pẹ̀lú 37 yẹn ẹ bá mi sọ síbẹ̀. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé the same thing ni ẹ̀yin náà tó fi nọ́mbà tí yín sí. So for 37 years, the Irish or the island or whatever the nationalist people, what was the reason for that trouble? Ṣé wọ́n gba àkàrà lẹ́nu wọn ni? Because tọmọdé bá ń jàkàrà tó bá gbà lẹ́nu ẹ̀, á máa ké. Kí ló gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn tó fi ń sunkún tó fi di pé for 37 years money in that period of era tó bá fún ẹ ní UK visa àti Ireland visa wàá rejected. But do you know the population of Nigerians that are talking nonsense today and telling us that we should not fight for our own freedom? The same Nigerians that could not get their papers because having a document in UK, and I mean UK, England, was a most difficult one. So many Nigerians were running to Ireland to give birth so that they can get their documents. But the same Nigerians do not know how the people of Ireland fought for that freedom. Bomb bastard. Idiot all over the place. They are now sitting down there. They are telling you that we have all our churches here, but we are praying for Nigeria. Was it prayer that the Irish people used to free themselves from the bondage of the UK government as at that time? Idiot all over the place. Bomb bastards. Ṣé inti wọ́n lò nìyẹn prayer kan kírun Allahu Akbar la ilaha illallah. Ṣé nǹkan tó lò nìyẹn? When they were demanding for something for 37 years, they were fighting with every goddamn thing that they knew how to fight with. Idiot all over the place. I said, hey, we are now in Ireland, but we are praying for Nigeria. Pray for your father. Don't pray for any bloody Nigeria. Because there is troubles in Nigeria that we must first find the solution to it. Without finding the solution, that trouble is going nowhere. That trouble is going nowhere. That trouble, oh mama, link on money. Whether Tinubu leave power, if Peter Obi come, we will make sure we are doing the same thing, even if Peter Obi becomes the president. Not to talk of Atiku. So is it because Tinubu is there? What makes difference? And so we are all in danger. There is trouble. Fire on the mountain. We are running, and as we are running, the fire keeps coming. The fire keeps coming. Do you know that in Niger, not Niger State, Niger, I am now getting a report that immigration in Nigeria is telling us that let us close our border because terrorists have run away from the prison. There's a jailbreak. Have you not heard the news? Everyone in danger. Every single one of you, including myself. Continue the play. We are all in danger. The terrorists that I was speaking to a brother this afternoon, and I said, I am having the belief that jailbreak and one West were behind it. Because we are talking about adding terrorists that they've kept in the Niger prison. They are now telling us that they've run away. And the Nigerian, I'll read it to you. I have the communique. The Nigerian soldier is now telling us, our immigration, that we should tighten up our porous borders so that they don't come into Nigeria. I want to wọlé already. Let's stick with Ireland. Kí ló fa wàhálà? Kí ló fa rògbòdìyàn? Kí ló dé tó ń jà? What is the Irish people looking for? Is it because they don't love each other? Or something, somebody believes in something? Yes, there's a jailbreak in Niger. Not Niger State, Niger. The one that Tinubu wanted to use bomb to fight them. They say, bomb us, we bomb Lagos State. Tinubu say, don't do that. Benny, do we even have borders? I'll come back to that. People are asking questions. Do the Northern Irish consider themselves Irish? Ireland is now made up of two separate countries. Two separate countries. The Republic of Ireland and the Northern Ireland. Most people, whether in the Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland, refer to themselves as Irish. Some people in the Northern Ireland refer to themselves as British because àwọn yẹn ṣì link díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Britain. But the island itself decided that no. We don't want to be part of UK anymore. We just want to have our own life. The Republic of Ireland occupies most of the Iceland of Ireland off the coast of England and Wales. Its capital is Dublin. Many Nigerians got their documents in that part of the world. You would not have been able to get that your papers if they were still locked together under the one uniform called United Kingdom. So now that you can go to Nigeria with your Irish passport, but you are telling Nigerians that we should continue to have the faith in Nigeria because you do not want Lagos to be destroyed, you do not want Ile Yoruba to be destroyed, but already the economic damage that the whole criminals have done is worth more than a building that you cherish so much. Hey, we don't want them to destroy Lagos, so we are conservative. Koiki is the liberal. Just leave him. He and Igbo people, they are castigating to come and destroy Lagos. Maybe I should give you the latest update about that your Lagos, that your Ogun State, your Ondo State, your Ekiti State, including all the Nigeria as one block. This is the latest update as we have it. 1 minute. Shout out to every one of you that have joined us on this platform again today. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. According to Steve Hank, he says, and I quote, "2024 Global Livability Index." Let me go straight to his Twitter handle and read it straight from there. Shout out, mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí arúgbó, mo kí omigan, mo kí wa pé there is troubles in Nigeria. So trying to save one part of the state against all the troubles happening in the country, you all must be joking. Joker ni gbogbo yín. But I'll just leave it like that. Joker ni yín. Joker ni gbogbo yín. Látòkè délẹ̀. But in tó fún yín ní more trouble tó dẹ̀ ti damage gbogbo nǹkan ju àwọn buildings tẹ́ ń rí yìí lọ yẹn, màá kà fún yín ní a minute. Màá padà wá sí ti Bangladesh. But let me just give you the update quickly. Yesterday, 5 people were killed in Bangladesh. 100 were injured as student protesters clashed with the police over a Hasina government mandate job quota, which favor only the prime minister's supporters. 5 people dead in Bangladesh. Because wèrè làwọn government yàtọ̀ sáwọn civilized country bí UK, Europe ni wọ́n nílò ìbọn. But America gan tó bá dójú ẹ̀ gan wá yọ gàgàmù síta. Má tanra yín. Mo ń bọ̀. That's what I'm looking for. I got it. Out of 173 countries, Economics Intelligence 2024 Global Livability Index. Kill me by that. Mashallah, in a minute. Lagos, Nigeria ranks a dismal 170. Nínú 173 cities ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Lagos yín wọ́n rank 170. So kílẹ̀ wá ń pọ́nlé níbẹ̀. I'm asking you. Kílẹ̀ ń pọ́nlé níbẹ̀. Ashake TV show, welcome to the program. Mukiyawa. Out of 173 cities, Lagos, níbi táwọn èèyàn ń gbé, livability, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo English dictionary. Let's go and look at the English dictionary. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí. Livability or livability is the decree to which a place is good for living. Livability refers to the concerns that are related to the long-term well-being of individuals and communities. So, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Lagos State, ẹ súnmọ́ bíbá, kẹ́ wá gbọ́. Ẹ wá gbọ́. Your Lagos State, according to the world cities, out of 173, Lagos gba pass mark 170. So ìwọ̀nba díẹ̀ ṣe péré ló kù, òun ni kò bá gbégbá, òun ni kò bá jẹ́ the agbépo ní class. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ká máa ní ẹ̀kan agbépo. Lagos will have been the agbépo because kò wà conducive. I'm not going to tell me pé èrò tó pọ̀ ní Lagos State ní Koiki o. Liars all over the place. Jakande was building houses. Tẹ́ bá mọ̀ pé èrò pọ̀ ni. Get their data, make sure that every one of them are paying back into the government. Àwọn tó bá yẹ kó san tax. Then you will be able to start building. But kí la wá ṣe? Atalẹ̀ wa upright fáwọn tí kò jẹ́ ká talẹ̀ fún. Àwa wá lé ní nísìn, àwa ń moan, àwa ń pariwo. Ilẹ̀ tó yẹ kó jẹ́ tiwa àti tàdánù torí ebi ń pa wá. Torí a fi jápa. Ṣé tìlú bá da èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ ta property bàbá ẹ̀? Èmi ò ṣe pé property bàbá tèmi tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kí n tà. Kí n sọ pé torí mo fẹ́ sá kúrò Nàìjíríà kí wọ́n tà fáwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù. Ṣé màá délé báǹkan? So some of you need to better start thinking. Let's go back to that Twitter, then we go back to the island. We are almost 1 hour into the program. Mokibugwa. Of the 173 cities in 2024 or doing global livability, I have explained the meaning of livability. The condition of people living in Lagos State is ranked at 170 to 173. 173 cities. Lagos took or got 170. So what is the pride of it for us? Whether we are the indigenous people or whether those that came to live with us. So, ṣé London tí wọ́n ń gbé, even though we know housing has become very difficult as well. But tó bá dé stage kan nílùú you will still be given a priority. The best Louis. You were not born in this country, but you are living a better housing condition than the indigenous Lagosians living in Lagos, and they cannot live a standard property or a standard house. Am I making sense? We left our own country. Then we will come here and we are claiming the right. Because why? Because some of us got papers or we took advantage of the law of this country. There was nothing wrong in it because we did not commit a crime. But our people, our Yoruba people, our governors, I am not even just using Lagos now, across the whole of Yoruba land, and that is why they are running mad every day, because everybody wants to build a house. You can see where we found ourselves. So, and you want to say, end bad governance, sorting it out. How? Okay, you end the bad governance. So, which one are you going to bring in? Because if we end Tinubu bad governance, oh, you want to go and bring Peter V? Onyara, Onyoshi, Onyeberibe, Kunidafunyi, bomb bastard. So, I end bad governance, Abi. I want to go Peter V wale. Àbẹ́yìn ọmọ Gen Z, a wicked people. You can see that it doesn't make any sense. But whatever will make sense is the fight to bring the troubles that we are all facing, and then let everybody go their separate ways and go and deal with ourselves. So that when you come down to my own country, my law will guarantee you 2-bedroom. If you do jiggy and you can't get belle for somebody, we guarantee you a house. Wallahi. Àwọn ọmọ UK ló àwọn ló ṣe jigijigi jù across the whole of Europe. Àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ àlùfàǹṣà ní bíbá tó bá mọ tán pé jigijigi problem ti ẹnìyẹn. 14 years old, they do jigijigi. As soon as they get belle, they go to the council and the council house them. That is how we want to have it in our own system. So even ìwọ tó ń bọ̀ láti ìta tó ń ṣọmọ Olúwa, you don't have to buy property. We can give you a house. You will just be paying council tax. Gbogbo ilé tó wà nílùú yìí ló wà lábẹ́ council tax. Kò sí yàtọ̀ sí palace. Yàtọ̀ sí Buckingham Palace nìkan ni kò sí lábẹ́ council tax. Every accommodation, including number 10 Downing Street, they are paying council tax. How many of you are paying council tax to our local government? Do you have local government? The whole system is dysfunction. So what needs to be done is bring the whole thing down and let's start afresh. Oh no, thank you. Don't bring the whole thing down. Let us manipulate it. Let us add a 2-story building on a bungalow, and they killed over 100 people in Plateau State last week. Children in the class, A for apple, B for apple, C for car. I think the whole building collapsed. You know what? It was a bungalow they added to on top of it. Mad people all over the place. That is the kind of country you want us to be managing. Abibeko, liars, deniers. Everybody knows the truth, but you are keeping that truth to yourself. So you're gonna bring one government down, So which government will come again? End bad governance, end bad governance, bad governance. So you want me to end bad governance and then stay with you? Oh, okay. When they bring the constitution down, then we can. I say I do not want to live with you anymore. I can live with you as a neighbor. You can come and live with us as a citizen of another country. But don't tell us to end bad governance, end Nigeria, and then what? We bring a new Nigeria. We want a Yoruba nation. All-Star Yoruba TV, Moki. We want a full, independent Yoruba country that will operate its own laws, that will decide how we want to take the country to the next stage. I do not want end bad governance, and then another governance will come in, and we are still under the cycle of Nigeria, like the people with the act for regional government and the restructure. What we all need now is a total collapse. We want a full independent Yoruba country. I don't want to go and end your bad governance. No, I'm not interested in that. But you have the right to go out. But that is not going to give us a final conclusion of the country. The country was a fraud. You know what they call fraud? If you do fraud in this country, you are going in for a long time. Go and ask Osh Poppy. So Nigeria is a fraud, and we need to put most people in the prison, but they don't want to go to prison. So let us break away. No surprise. Let's go back and finish that. Today, according to Steve Hang, I measured. You know when they say they measure something, you just they put the proof, the thing just they go baba, they go baba, they do baba. As you put the proof, the thing they go not stable. Your inflation If you don't know what they call inflation, maybe you better ask somebody with the inside comment section. Say, Koiki, this Oyinbo did too much this afternoon. No? I'm not going to tell you the meaning of that. But inflation in Nigeria is about 108%. 108. It don't pass 100. It don't pass 101. It don't pass 102. It don't pass 103. It don't pass 104. It dey 108 as I speak to you right now. You know pounds. I don't want to stand up again. You know that our money? Pound sterling now, you know money. Yeah, Charlie don't die. Now, Charlie dey there now. I will tell you what Charlie said today. He no be prince anymore, na king. The one with the pashe. But for Yoruba land, king no fit pashe. They are politician. But king here don't speak. There's what they call king speech. You don't know, I could tell you. Ṣẹ́rí pé mo ṣe ọlẹ́ǹkan pé kò sí bá ṣe lè rí ṣe ní Nàìjíríà. Àwọn tó ń rí ṣe nísìn, àwọn yahoo, àwọn gé orí èèyàn, gé ìdí èèyàn, do this, 419, scam come plenty. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní diaspora, ẹ má ṣọ́ra. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní diaspora, ẹ má ṣọ́ra. Ẹ máa wá investment káàkiri ní Nàìjíríà nísìn. Wàá gbé yín ní mugun. Wàá gbé yín lórí eré. Because àwọn tó wà lé nísìn, Gen Z yẹn, ojú wọn lé kókókókókókó. Tó bá ṣe presentation tó fún ẹ báyìí, wàá ti send £10,000 kó tó máa sọ pé Gen Z, ẹ má careful. Àti family o, àti kò family o, everybody ti wà lórí ọgbìn ìmọ̀ra. Wo owó tẹ bá ní ẹ fi ṣe business tó bá ti wọgbó, míyàn kan bá wá bá mi lórí platform pé ẹ bá wa polongo, wo ẹ sanwó sàrà nìyẹn. Ìlú le lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, wọ́n ní inflation is 108. Everybody brain wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́. Do you blame them? Do you blame the people that could not be given opportunity on a daily basis? Do you blame them? We do not condone crime on this platform. But whoever you go and do business with, and they bear, ó ti lọ nìyẹn. Sọ pé ó ti lọ, ẹ fi sórí comment section. So, wọ́n ní Tinubu, the master of economic disaster. President Bola ti àtàn kámẹ́rà látẹ̀ǹkan ni. Mo ríra mi látẹ̀ǹkan ni, ẹ má bínú. President Bola, mo kàn fẹ́ change DP yẹn, kákọ̀ fi rí àwòrán yẹn, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí bíbà, tá bá ti repost fídíò yìí, ẹ̀rí Jagaban lẹ́yìn mi. Jagaban, a pè é, a sọ fún ẹ, ọmọ olódù ọdẹ oní èmi lọ́kàn. Jagaban lẹ́rìn yẹn, the master of economic disaster. A sọ fún, kò dá wa lóhùn. Ó ní èmi lọ́kàn. Jagabandit. That's why Eniola Badmus, I keep mentioning her name because she's one of them. She's in London showing the Louis Vuitton bag. She's taking picture. She's doing like that. She's doing like that. She's doing lo. Ó ti lọ. Around tó làágùn nínú oòrùn. Most of you that went to vote, rí visa gbà. Wọ́n jẹ́ kẹ́ wọlé. Eniola Badmus. Ó ti lọ ṣe shopping ní Costco. Ìyẹn ti wà on their way. Àwọn ọmọ olówó tó máa ra àwọn Davido, àwọn ọmọ ńláńlá ní Banana Island. Òun sì wà London. Ó gbé Louis Vuitton bá ṣe báyìí. Ó tún lo posting kan báyìí. Ó tún lọ báyìí. Kódà ó tún ṣe báyìí. Ó tún lọ báyìí. Ẹ sọ pé ó ti lọ. In the 80s, you watching me, if to say they born you for 1980, all you need was your Nigerian passport and arrive on the Heathrow airport and they will welcome you like a king. You know why? Because then it was going well for that country. Nobody needed a visa. Kódà, many of you that have your nephew in London today, that are telling you to continue to pray, while they are sending you £10, £30, £100, they were only just lucky to be born here. Because Margaret Thatcher was the one that stopped the law that says, if you are not a British citizen, if you are born here, you are not automatically a British citizen anymore. Tiba paro, go and ask somebody else. Margaret Thatcher stopped that law. Òun ló gbé òfin kan dé pé ẹni tó bá bí tẹ́lẹ̀ tó bá bíyàn sí UK in the 80s, you become a British citizen automatically. So a lot of people that they gave birth to in the 70s, up to that period, now then get British passport. The rest of us, we are now still fighting after many years. And this is why we are saying it can't continue like this. What is the solution? The solution is there trouble in Nigeria? Yes, there is trouble in Nigeria. Let's go and then ask, how did Ireland gain their independence? Ọ̀nà wo ló gbà? Was it by praying to God? Was it by negotiation? Was it by dialogue, diplomacy? Or was it by fighting? Ireland gained independence from the United Kingdom on December 6, 1921. It's been a long time. That's about some few years after the fraudulent amalgamation, as we say all the time. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, and welcome to the program. When representatives of the two states signed the Anglo-Irish Treaty, this is what we are saying to Tinubu. Tinubu think he will not answer us. He will just continue running his government, and then we will not do anything. Yes, we cannot do anything, but a lot will happen in Nigeria that will then allow us to do something. But for now, we cannot do anything because we don't have the power to do anything. But in Tomamu Kontama Kia do something, it will happen. Today is the 17th, 7th, 2024 at 14 minutes past 7 p.m. You're watching a live transmission. Yes? I got 2 hours left.
I just came back.
What do you want? You okay? You sure? Ireland gained independence from the UK in 1921. But how did all this play out? Was it an easy pulling out? The Irish War, and you heard it very well, war, W-A-R, Ogun. The Irish War of Independence, or the Anglo-Irish War, was a guerrilla war. You do not fight conventional war with a government that is sitting. You will all be killed one at a time. So the guerrilla warfare is a form of unconventional warfare in which smaller groups of irregular military, such as rebels, partisan, paramilitary, personnel, or armed civilians, including recruited children, use ambush, sabotage, terrorism, which is what the Boko Haram are using right now with the Nigerian soldiers. The reason why the Nigerian soldiers or the Nigerian military, let me put it that way, and all other security cannot win the war of the Boko Haram is because they are not fighting them conventionally. They are fighting them under what is known as guerrilla warfare. And I told you that we are all in danger. I'm going to come back to the Irish War of Independence. Let me take you back one step again to this report that came to me. Was I shocked? Not really. It's just part of what we have been saying, that we are all in danger. So far, they have not come out to debunk it. So whatever I read now stand as it stays. Nigerian Immigration Service Headquarters released a press release 5 days ago, July 12, 2024. 5 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ọjọ́ márùn-ún sẹ́yìn ló release statement here. It is coming from the headquarters office of the Deputy Controller General, Border Management, Suka Airport Road, Abuja, PMB 38. I don't know whether that telephone number will work, but I'll just leave it as it is. C for distribution. So they're telling me to tell Nigerians that still think that all is okay while the Boko Haram continue to regroup and regroup and regroup until they are ready to finish up. And if they cannot finish right now, they will slow down until Tinubu complete his tenure, and they will come back out again. Tí Tinubu bá parí ìrìn àjò ẹ̀, they will come back again. Mo kí àwa Dúpẹ́ Agboola, thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeniyi. Let's continue, and I'll appreciate every one of you as time goes again. Because a very, very important discussion here. This is not a laughing platform. This platform laughs sometimes, but it's a very, very serious platform among millions of other platforms, but don't take this platform for joke. And that is why you have to be part of it. Forget whether you are the one talking, but you are also part of this journey. We are all in this together. We might be 3,000 miles away, but we are all in this together. And I always say it. Mumba mommy mi konsoro ni Canada lano. Money, I am just waiting. I will be going on. Koiki ma lole. Muni mutigbo. Maybe not now. Maybe not now. But pay chances pé mo ní wálé yẹn irọ́ ni. Kò sẹ́ni tó máa rójú yàn kankan mọ́ nígbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà bá. It could be next year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years. I don't know. Subject to whatever we all want. Ṣé mi lè ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ Mr. Fatai Aziz? I want you to rephrase or write something again, then I'll know how to deal with you. I'm not joking on this platform. I don't come out and sit here and laugh. What we are facing is a lot of troubles that is taking and have took many lives. So be careful with your comment. I curse a lot. I do curse a lot. Tiba, slow down. It's because I love my wives and I love my mom. So don't take this platform for a joke. If you're not welcome here, look, I've told you, if you don't sọ̀rọ̀ kwa to bowa, lójoojúmọ́ lórí platform, gbogbo àlà ń gbọ́, èmi náà máa ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, má sọ pé ò tí gbọ́ rí. Aunty yẹn wà ní London. Ọ̀rọ̀ kwa to bò ló ń sọ, èrò dẹ̀ ń kún bẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ lójoojúmọ́. Ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ làwọn náà. Mo ṣeré ní bíbá yo. Màá rán ẹ sílé ní straight away, màá dẹ̀ block ẹ. And I'm not begging anybody to sit here. Into máa bẹ gbogbo wa, ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Anna ti wà nínú danger 13 face láti ìgbà tó yìnbó ti kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ sínú ìdààmú yìí. Ká yọra wa kúrò nílẹ̀. Ká wá dẹ̀ ṣe débi tá máa dé ká lọ máa ṣeré pa níbẹ̀. Ẹ lè ṣeré pa nínú Nàìjíríà nísìnyí o. Eré pa tá ń ṣe nísìn nínú Nàìjíríà ó léwu tó pọ̀ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ tẹ́lẹ̀. Àwọn àgbáyé ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó bírèkì. Tá bá dákẹ́ tá àkọ́rá ń mẹ́nu díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀ ni. The world olórí burúkú ni wọ́n fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó break. So àwa la máa fọ́ ẹpọ́n ẹ̀. In tó bá máa dì ní kó dì, in tó bá máa fà ní kó fà. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè ni, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Ìlú òyìnbó tí mò ń gbé àwọn èèyàn kú káwa tó gbé bíbá ẹni. Àwọn èèyàn para wọn káwa lè fi máa jàǹfààní ẹ̀ lénìí. So let us be very, very cautious when you come on this platform. Tó bá fi ipò lè take it, get the hell out and go and do something else. Àṣírí ní bíbá. Let's go back to the press release from the Nigerian immigration in fún wa ní wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ intati sọ̀bọ̀ láti jọ ìtẹ́lẹ̀ náà nìyẹn pé wàhálà ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà á ti wà nínú ewu. Mass prison break, mass MASS, mass prison break in Niger Republic, 100, not one, not two, more total numbers of international terror kingpin wọ́n ti escape. Ìwọ wá jókòó sí bíbá oníkòsíewu tálámọ̀ tó máa rìn tí lára àwọn kingpin tó náà ti ṣe rántí pé tàbújá la àti kò tẹ̀sẹ̀ tó dẹ̀rẹ̀ ti yẹn mọ́. Kuje prison break, nobody remember anything anymore. Abolongo prison break, are we stupid people? What? Ṣé àwọn tó tẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ ní gbogbo wa? Àbí ẹ ṣáà jẹ́ ká máa tó bí wọ́n ṣe ní ká tó. Tásìkò bá tó gbogbo tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà àwa kan. So èyí tẹ máa ń wá tẹ ní tẹ bá mọ̀ pé ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kó dẹ ìkorú ẹ sọ fún Sanwó-Olú kó tètè ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation ká lè lọ́kè kó pa. Ẹ lè lọ́kè kó pa bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn ara ń kan everybody. Ẹ lè lọ́kè anywhere nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, ẹ lè lọ́kè anywhere nílẹ̀ Igbo, ẹ lè lọ́kè anywhere ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà because terrorists ti invade gbogbo wa. We told you continuously that Lagos is still under a massive threat, not by the IPOB, not by the Igbos, by Boko Haram terrorists of a bomb gbogbo Lagos state. Ẹ máa sọ pé they play. Àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ṣe oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ tí mo gbọ́dọ̀ máa sọ just to make sure that that is suppressed. Ẹbọ oríṣiríṣi ló ń rú, àdúrà oríṣiríṣi ló ń ṣe, ẹ máa sọ pé they play. Tó bá bọ́ǹbù Lagos state, ṣé èmi mọ̀ bí i family mi kan ó máa wà lórí Lagos Island nígbà tó bá bọ́ǹbù bẹ̀? Kò ní dá fún gbogbo yẹn ní ṣoríire. Every day làwọn èèyàn fi àdúrà lọ fi ń ran bẹ̀ẹ́ lọ́wọ́ pé kí kó má ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́lọ̀ Peter Bílẹ̀ ń sọ ni. A ní àwọn Boko Haram wọ́n ti wà láàrin wa ní Lagos state. Wọ́n kàn dúró fún ọ́dà ni. Níbo làwọn tó sùn sí? Níbo làwọn tó wà? Sleeper cells all over the place. That time mo mean sleeper cells. Sleeper cells all over the place in Lagos state. A country that doesn't have the intelligence to monitor and make sure that they neutralize a lay. Ẹ máa sọ pé they play. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Ẹni máa kú ni, ẹni máa yè, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Because nobody knows. Tẹ́wọ̀ bọ́ǹbù Ìbàdàn. Ṣèbí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ pé Koiki kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. We saw what happened in Ìbàdàn. Mo ti ṣe program ẹ̀ lánàá. 6 months. Gbọ́n kankan mọ́. And that is the end of it. Àdẹ̀wọ̀n sọ pé à ń ṣe erépá lórí program, erépá ò là ń ṣe. Tẹ́ bá wá program tó ti ń ṣe erépá, ó pọ̀ dáadáa lórí social media. When we're here, let us listen and prepare our mind and send messages to the politicians to give us adequate security. Owó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn. If I have a little bit of one month owó tó ń fún àwọn governors wa fún security budget, àmúta lè ṣe. But we don't have that money. Owó ló fi ń jagun. Owó ló fi ń ṣe security. I told them yesterday to give adequate security and adequate logistics to all our farmers, our hunters, and they will know what to do. Ní kó bẹ rúbọ kan nísìn, nígbà tó bá fún ẹ ní bill wá sá lọ, èèyàn mélòó ló lè rúbọ? Nígbà tó bá ní ọmọ apàgbò, ọmọ apàkíní kan, how many people have that money? Àwọn olóṣèlú olórí burúkú yẹn wọ́n ní gbogbo owó yẹn lọ́wọ́. Ojoojúmọ́ làwọn náà rúbọ. But ẹbọ tó ń rú, wọ́n rú against ní táwa ń ṣe. Pé kí èdè àìyedè wà láàrin gbogbo wa. That's what they're doing. They keep doing something reverse. Sí nǹkan táwa ń bèrè fún. Àwa ń ṣe prayer lójoojúmọ́. Yesterday we were in a prayer. Ọdún mẹ́ta la ti ń ṣe prayer yẹn. 6 of us, including myself. Kò síjọ́ tí mo miss ẹ̀rí ní wíìkì kan. Àfi tó bá yẹ pé mo very very busy. So àwọn ní owó, all these bastard politicians, àti Tinubu gbogbo wọn ló ń ṣògùn against nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. So àdúrà yẹn ẹ má jẹ́ kó dúró, ẹ máa nà dáadáa ládùúrà ẹ̀yin Kristẹni. Pé gbogbo ibi tó ń ṣe sílẹ̀ Yorùbá kó reverse padà sí wọn. ẹ jókòó síbẹ̀ kẹ́ máa sọ pé dey play. Ẹ rò pé ojú lásán ni gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ yìí tí kò tí ì níyanjú ni. Kò ń ṣojú lásán. Ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀. Kò ń ṣojú lásán. A kò lè máa go into all the details. Ó dọjọ́ wájú ẹ kà ní ìwé mi because they are still classified information. Àwọn èèyàn ṣe wàhálà. Wọ́n rán nǹkan padà sẹ́lòmíì nígbà tó mọ̀ pé wọ́n ń dìde lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá. Wá sórí social media rẹ̀ pa à ń ṣeré níbí báyìí kò ní dá fún yẹn ní ṣoríire. Born bastard èèyàn máa lè. Èèyàn lórí burúkú ọmọ òṣì. Èèyàn ọmọ ọ̀ràn kíran. Àmọ́ bí tó ti bí gbogbo yín gan sẹ̀. A ní kẹ́ farabalẹ̀ ká tẹ́tí ká lè tètè jáde kúrò nínú ewu tá a wà. Tí mo bá ṣe Yorùbá nation mọ́ ṣé èmi mi máa jìyà ni. Ìbá màmá gbáyé mi lọ níbí báyìí ò irọ́ lẹ pa. Mo ní mi ni last man standing. Ọba Sade nísìn kí ló wá ṣe ní London? Olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú kí ló wá ṣe ní London? Bọ́n ṣe máa wọlé tán máa jáde nìyẹn. Do you know how much it cost a ticket from Nigeria to London today? First class or business class? Go and check. Ìwọ wà níbẹ̀ gàrí lásán ò lè rí mu. Àwa ní ká ṣe sùúrù. Ká tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ àgbọ́yé dáadáa. Kò ṣe pa àìtí gbọ́. But àwọn nǹkan tá à ń sọ tá à ń mú jáde is to make sure that we are prepared. Àwa dẹ̀ máa yè, àwa kọ́ la máa kú. Àwọn ọ̀tálẹ̀ Yorùbá ló máa bá lọ. Every single one of them. Ìyá mi 60 angel. Sosoliso ní Nàìjíríà ti pa ọmọ wọn lọ́wọ́. Àkọ́bí wọn kò ní dá fún gbogbo yẹn ní ṣoríire. Born bastard. Do you know the Sosoliso plane crash? The 60 angel TV tó wà lórí YouTube tó wò mí nísìn. Her first son, àkọ́bí wọn, was in that aircraft. Tó kú tí olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ tó rí kankan ṣe sí. Do you know how many people have died since then? Ẹ wá justice fún yàn kan. Did we ever get justice for the Sosoliso plane crash ní Nigeria? Nobody. Gbàtẹ́pẹ́ yẹn ò mọ nǹkan tó ń lọ Nigeria. Ẹ lọ Google it and find out what happened at the Sosoliso plane crash. Nobody got justice till date. Not even 1 naira. Wọ́n fáwọn ìyá yẹn tó lose àwọn ọmọ wọn. Ẹ má bínú pé mo tún gbé yín lọ síbẹ̀ mọ́mì. Mo sorry gan. Because a painful thing for them to remember. Ó mọ̀ bá ti Sosoliso plane crash ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. Èmi kàn tẹ́ gbọ́ rárá tẹ́lẹ̀. Later la ṣe ń gbọ́ pé nǹkan báyẹn ṣẹlẹ̀. Ọlọ́run bá mi dáhùn tó kù sí. Ẹ má bínú pé mo lọ touch yín níbi tí kò yẹ kí n touch yín nírọ̀lẹ́. Ìyá tọ́mọ wọn kú, grandma tọ́mọ wọn kú. Ṣèyí Mákindé kò lè pe ìyá yẹn pé mọ́mì grandma ẹ má bínú government are busy ni. Ó jẹ́ kí n fly wá sí London kí wá kí yín ni. Olùṣí ẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn aláṣẹ́wó wọn tó ń bá sùn á fly wá sí London secretly tẹ́yìn ò ní mọ̀. Ó máa gba bòmí ìgbọ̀wọ́ London ni. Àwa gún yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ sí bíbá. Kó má lè pè ìyá yẹn pé ẹ má bínú ọmọ yín tó kú nínú bomb blast. So when some of you think that it is today that you have been killed, any trouble one in Nigeria, there has been trouble in Nigeria. The Sosoliso plane crash here, that flight was not allowed to take off. One now politician no lo kọjá lọ. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ wá lọ lo plane tó lọ pa àwọn ọmọ lọ́mọ. Kò ní dá fún gbogbo yín. Ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú yẹn kò ní dá fún yín. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. I keep telling you that. Ẹ máa ní rọ́là ń pa, ó kù díẹ̀. Láàrin ara yín, gbogbo ń tẹ́ bá ń rán padà sí wa, ó máa padà in reverse to you all. Tọ́nà máa fi ṣí fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá láti bọ́. Kò ní pẹ́ mọ́. Déètì yẹn láàkọ́ mọ́ ni. It doesn't matter how long. For every blessed day, ó ń dínkù náà ni. And Tinubu will be the last president, last Shedumari of that messed up country. A gbọ́dọ̀ to experience any more president. So táwọn tó bá fẹ́ protest, ẹ jáde kẹ́ protest. Ẹ jáde kẹ́ lọ protest. Ẹ bá fẹ́ protest. Right yín ni láti protest. Ǹtẹ́ bá fẹ́ bàjẹ́ kẹ́ bàjẹ́. Who cares? Pa gbogbo wa, ẹ rán gbogbo wa lọ sínú exile. Ṣé yẹn wọ̀n pa exile ni gbogbo yín wà? You think you are in abroad and wear jeans and trousers káàkiri. Àwọn tó yẹ ká máa wọ gbogbo nǹkan táwọn wọ̀ bá òru á máa múyàn nísàlẹ̀ ni. àwọn tó yẹ ká máa wà dìrẹ́ kátẹ́gùn máa fẹ́ sí gbogbo ìsàlẹ̀ ká máa look nice kọ́ máa gé aṣọ sí wa lọ́rùn lójoojúmọ́ àjókòó sí lóyìnbó àwọn t-shirt ṣé t-shirt jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣọ tiwa ọdún gbogbo lọ sí exile ẹ̀yin wa náà ń gbádùn no problem ẹ túbọ̀ máa gbádùn ẹ̀. Let's come back to the Nigerian Immigration Service at 7:30, 1 hour 25 minutes into the program. 3 hours, no need. So let's make use of it quickly. There is a prison break, massive prison break as I speak to you right now in Niger Republic, Niger, that's the pronunciation. Hundreds of international terrorist kingpins have all escaped. Where do you think they will be heading to? That they have a safe haven. Just don't be biased. Where do you think? Benin Republic, Ghana, Mali, or Nigeria? Not all of them will come to Nigeria, but at least maybe one, Abi. One of them will come to Nigeria. The Nigerian Immigration Service is in a receipt of intel information on the subject matter, which took place at Kautau prison in Niger Republic on Thursday, July 11. So this just happened 6 days ago, or 5 days ago, rather. Yeah. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 6 days ago. 6 days ago, a massive prison break took place in Niger Republic. Niger, where Buhari came from. The father, Mama Buhari ni ó wá láti Katsina, bàbá ọmọ Niger ni, Fulani. A sọ pé Nàìjíríà o. Torí ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ gbọ́ o. Tó bá jẹ́ pé PC ni kẹ́ gbọ́n dànù, tàwọn ọmọ Igbo fake tó kó wá láti China, kẹ́ fi sí speaker kẹ́ máa gbọ́n tí mo sọ bí. Niger ni mo sọ mo ní Nàìjíríà o. Okay, tẹ́ bá sọ pé ibo ló ń bọ̀ yẹn, okay, mo get it. Nigeria, yeah, definitely. Àwa ń ṣeré pa. How did they escape? Ṣé rántí pé the West are no longer in charge of Niger Republic. You remember that they told France and America. America has now left Niger. After a couple of days, there's a flood by Koiki, let's go to Russia. There's no point repeating the same thing all the time. Could make sense. About type in comment section. If not, they will lock you anyway. Lock. Stop spamming. What it is spamming here? Spam. When you're putting one thing continuously, they'll kick you out. Technology to lodge you roll. Can go to Russia. Tabala see Russia. I'm also on social media for you. And thanks so much for the comment anyway. 6 days ago, I just saw this today. To buy pe mo rere lánàá ní ìgbà tí mo ṣe program lánàá ni màá bá add ẹ mọ́. Ṣé mo pé nígbà tí mo jáde lánàá, some of you sometimes we just say kí ló ṣe lè tán wọ military outfit jáde tó wá ń ṣe program. It's because we are sending a code ni àwa send the message àwọn táwọn tá send message sí yẹn tó bá ti rí pẹ̀lú uniform yẹn because tí bá ti jáde pẹ̀lú uniform mi message lèmi náà send padà. Ṣeré o. Right now civilian ni mi báyìí. Civilian ni mi tí bá ti wọ military mi èmi náà ti di ológun ni èmi náà rán àròkọ padà sí wọn ni àṣégbà tí mo tẹ̀ ń ṣe program lánàá àṣé nǹkan kan tẹ̀ ti bẹ́lẹ̀ ní Niger láti on the 11 ṣe rí pé lórí burúkú ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n ṣe wà ń sọ okay wọ́n sọ níjọ́ kejì but èmi ò tètè rí. So what we are trying to say is that are we Are we not in troubles? Ṣé kò ṣe pé a ti wà, ṣé kò sí wàhálà ṣàṣà ní Nàìjíríà? Àyà kò sí wàhálà rárá. No problem. Èmi náà sọ pé kò sí wàhálà. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àrí wàhálà o. Torí tí wàhálà bá dé, àtẹni tó rà rẹ̀ sí ló máa jẹ gbogbo ẹ o. Or whatever the way tẹ́ bá ṣe ń pòwe yẹn. There is fire on the mountain. Because we heard about the Kuje prison break. All of a sudden, we heard about the Abolongo. Iskilu, ẹ ti gbàgbé. Iskilu left the prison. Until date, nobody have heard about him again. I want to go back to the island because I'm going to take party ọ̀rọ̀ mi lórí yẹn. Mo kàn fi mélé wọlé ni. Those that escape are in their hundreds. They are not civilians. They are terrorists, criminals, and drug traffickers. Terrorists, criminals, drug trafficker. So we have 3 different set of people that have escaped the Niger Republic prison on the 11th of July, 2024. This circular becomes very important as it is suspected that such criminal elements may sneak into Nigeria to join other terrorist gangs to continue to perpetrate mayhem and menace in Nigeria. So the immigration is warning you all and their colleagues, and we know that the borders are porous. The borders are completely loose. So the chances that they have not arrived in Nigeria is just too late. All officers working with the Nigerian border with Niger Republic are therefore expected to increase their vigilance and partner with other security agencies in tracking these fleeing terrorists. You're right. How do you track them? Hey, come here. You be terrorist. I know be terrorist. I be Nigeria. Which side? I be from Ijebu. I just pass by Niger. I won't go do business for there. Muki am comfort Ologunja. Muki Bogonya Balagba te wa lórí program. Sometimes when we sit here, then somebody will just come and bring some kind of comment. We know that you have been restricted. There's not enough data. Briefly, so really èmi kọ́ mo máa mú press release jáde circular yìí. Nigeria Immigration Service mà ló ní kí n sọ fún gbogbo Nigeria pé àwọn ajínipa apààyàn, àwọn criminals, àwọn drug traffickers, wọ́n á sọ fún wa pé àwọn Igbo mà ní, wọ́n sọ pé Yorùbá mà ní, wọ́n sọ pé Hausa ní, wọ́n ná àwọn ọ̀daràn tí wọ́n mú sínú prison ní Niger Republic, wọ́n náà ti escape gbogbo wọn. Àbí kò yé mi tí wọ́n àbí mò ń ṣèrànràn ni. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ l'Áfíríkà báyìí? What is going on in Africa? What is going on? What is real? Ṣé pé mo ní the agenda is not to allow Nigeria to break, but to create mayhem àti wàhálà báwọn náà ṣe kọ́ sí bíbá. All officers working with Nigerian border àti Niger, wọ́n ní kọ́ track wọn. That one okay, Dezani, we can track her because she's got an electronic tag. She can still go all over the place now. But at 11 o'clock, Dezani Alice Madueke, the one that has been charged for crime, but according to the National Crime Agency, that she has been bailed for £70,000 to next year, but she's a flight risk. I was there when the judge said, "Madam, you're a flight risk. We can't allow you to be going all over the place. Please give us your passport and put money down." She offered £35,000. The judge said, "No, that's too small. With the crime against you, put more." £70,000 she paid for her bail with electronic tags on her leg. Nigerian custom is now saying they are going to track terrorists. The one way they inside Nigeria, they never track her. The terrorists tó ń pa àwọn èèyàn tó ń jíyàn gbé tó ń bà nǹkan jẹ́ tó lóye wá jáde ṣe rí i pé àwọn governors wa ṣé wọ́n ní brain ṣá. Àwa wá jáde a ní Òkè Ògùn à ń clear ẹbẹ̀ yẹn kò ń ṣe inú òrùn là ń clear inú igbó à ń clear wọn pé kó máa lọ. Wọ́n ní governor wá jáde wọ́n ní Ṣèyí Mákindé wá jáde orí ẹ̀ ti gbálẹ̀. Mo ní ìwọ àti Tinubu àárín yín ò ní dán mọ́rán mọ́, especially for you knowing that Igboho was going to be killed. O dẹ̀ ṣẹnu mú kẹ́lẹ́ o wá sá kúrò ní Ìbàdàn ní on the 1st of July 2021 pé kó bá pa Igboho sínú ilé. Àwa wá jáde olóyè ní kí n lọ sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé iṣẹ́ ń lọ o àmọ́ káwọn bá wa abẹ̀ wọ́n kó fún wa láyè àwọn baálẹ̀ Yorùbá abẹ̀yìn ni ẹ fún wa láyè ká lọ sínú àwọn igbó tó kù náà ká lọ ṣe tó yẹ ká ṣe síbẹ̀ ká lé wọn kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa torí àsìkò tó yẹ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gbìn nǹkan lélẹ̀ sọ àwọn bá yẹn ló ń dúró dè bọ̀ lókè Ògùn àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wọn níbẹ̀. Now àṣé gbogbo táyà táwọn sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn àṣé Niger àṣọ máa break prison. Let's leave that and quickly come back again. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. If you're new to the platform, we are not here saving Nigeria. We are not here protesting against Nigeria. We are here asking for self-determination under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. And I think, because I think I'm going to wiki rara and ara mi ò dé balẹ̀ bí bàbá ò ṣe because bàbá gbéṣẹ́ fún mi ni. So ẹ fún mi láyè kí n ka in tí bàbá sọ nípa the goodwill yẹn because we shall make our election quality yẹn láṣẹ ní last week. So ẹ fún mi láyè ká ka díẹ̀ nínú ilé. We shall build an incorruptible civil service. That is a beautiful one. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram, Koikimedia, like I said, I need that phone now. Ẹ má bínú ẹ dán wà lórí the other platform. Thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí pé thank you for joining us. If you're new once again, mo kí gbogbo wa pé Yorùbá nation, no going back ni. Wọ́n ní bàbá kan ní à ń sọ pé no going back. A jókòó sí the corner of the world. À ń pariwo no going back. No going back náà ni ìgbà tá à ní kankan. No going back náà ni. So ẹ jẹ́ ká ilé síta. Kò pọ̀ púpọ̀. It's just a very, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà within, ẹ mọ̀ mi máa kà tán fún yín nísìn. Kò pọ̀ púpọ̀. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lélẹ̀. So a ti wà ní week 9. So let's read this. We shall build an incorruptible civil service. But mo fẹ́ record it now so that at least send audio yẹn síta. Let's go. The good news path to prosperity in our orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. We shall build an incorruptible civil service. Our western region of Nigeria in the 1950s, we, Yoruba, created and nurtured the most advanced, the most competent civil service in Africa. Our region's civil service gave assistance from time to time to Nigerian Federal Civil Service with training programs with the lending of key personnel. But as we would be remembered in 1962, the federal government used federal power to push our western region crashing down. The spirit of excellency in our civil service was quickly destroyed. In the next 3 decades, the decade of the military dictatorship, we have had more and more states, each with its own civil service, and each civil service stored with high caliber persons, but none of the state civil service matches the high professional quality of the Western region civil service of the 1950s. The reason for that is the sharp differences between the two systems of governance and leadership. In the Western region in the 1950s, there were orderly and strict rules for administrative processes and for the management of public money. The political leaders, the premier, ministers, and the members of the regional legislature were dutifully obedient to the rules. All constitute a well-oiled machine. That is why the regional government was able to achieve all the miracles it did. Today, the state governor is the law, the government, the treasury, the commander of all process, in short, the owner and the master of his state. Essentially, the state civil service works according to his wins and cap prizes and in no clearly predictable order. Even his contact with his state commissioners have no predictable order, and it is not uncommon for some commissioners to have no contact with him and to be unaware what to do for months. The State House of Assembly is a glorified but irrelevant and unwanted entity whose members spend much of their time seeking the face of the governor. Altogether, what we call our state government today is just a bundle of chaos. That is why it is so easy to steal public money belonging to the state. That is why it is so easy for top public officials, governors, commissioners, top civil servants to write their personal interest into government projects, to award government contract to contracting companies owned by themselves or by their relations, friends, or cronies, and even to steal government properties. And that is why it has become the system that every person seeking any government service, such as licenses, officials' letter, due payment for services rendered, etc., must give bribes to the relevant government officials, high and low. What our new country, Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, will do to revive the highly productive order of the 1950s is not difficult to see. We shall quickly produce a proper constitution, the right laws, and the right administrative rules. We shall revive the administrative rules of the 1950s that strongly protected public money, the rules for the management of the treasury, and the rules prescribing the steps needed for accessing the treasury and its public money. We shall revive the public service rules of the 1950s, such as the rule that a public servant elected and appointed shall not sell anything to or buy anything from the government, or that a public servant must not receive considerations from members of the public for official services rendered. We shall struggle to accomplish all these within months, and we shall make the penalties for diversion, or infringement harsh and prohibitive. Our people generally want these, and they will quickly adjust to the new order. Our country will soon become the high-achieving country that we Yoruba want. Professor Adebanji Akintoye. The good news, path to prosperity in our Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìtí bàbá ń ṣàlàyé fún wa nínú ìtàkà yìí, a rí pé the public service in Yoruba land today is as useless as tissue paper. It doesn't have any respect for the citizen. We've seen politicians continue to take advantage of stealing those money that is meant for the people, for the public. It's okay now. I'm done with the reading of what I was doing earlier. So, politicians took advantage that in as much as the Constitution does not represent us, we were told lies to believe in one Nigeria. While they were milking Nigeria as much as they wanted to, they took Nigeria as a business center. When we talk about the foreigners among us, we must also talk about the criminals that were taking advantage. The public money that was meant to be used for the public ended up in their pocket across the world. We saw how money was moving from point A to B. Even we saw one of the religious leaders that was moving cash in a private jet. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, ǹjẹ́ eléyìí tí Bàbá Akíntóyè sọ nínú ibi tá a kà yìí, we shall build an incorruptible civil service. Kò síbi tí kò sí ṣe, even in UK and across the other part of the globe. But a civil servant will be held accountable. A rántí pé a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa brother wa kan ní UK ní bíbá. We told you about the story that he drove a car. Mo rántí orúkọ ẹ̀ mọ́ nísìn. The story I told you that it was a director that drove and all kind of manners of other things. If we do not allow Nigeria to go as it stands today, there will be more youth that are also ready to go and steal, because everybody believes that Nigeria is their kokobe. So what we should be asking for today is not, bad governance. What we should all be asking for is we should go our separate ways. We can never be one, and we will never be one. I've shared that audio out. In case you come across it, help me to share it to as many other people that are not with us on the live transmission right now. So we're going to finish up in the next 1 hour, 15 minutes, because like I said earlier, this program is 3 hours, and we'll be giving you all the updates, as we go along, because we still have more areas that we want to talk about. Moki gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, Yoruba Nation is not just something that we should think that is not going to happen. It will happen on our lifetime, and there's nobody that can stop it. Ìrìn àjò Ọlọ́run ni, kò ń ṣàwa là ń ṣe. It's a spiritual fight, and that fight we will all succeed. So today is Wednesday. I'll be doing more on this civil service, and how the civil service has always been in Nigeria. If you are in any of the local government, ṣé tẹ́ bá lọ sí local government yín, báwo ló ṣe operate pẹ̀lú yín? Ṣé wọ́n operate gẹ́gẹ́ bí èèyàn sí yín, àbí wọ́n operate gẹ́gẹ́ bí animal tó fẹ́ bá yín jà? Àti rí LASTMA tó ń tapa mọ́tò, àti rí gbogbo state kankan, where everything is just not going in accordance. And that is why Baba Akíntóyè said, we will build a civil service that represents every single person. Ní Louis, ní UK, they are responsible for us as much as we are also responsible for them. What our new country, Orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, will do to revive the highly productivity order of Intari in 1950. Talking about the Western region was a very good period, but today, local government, name them and tell me whether they are representing you or not in Yoruba land today. Local government. We have 191 local government across Yoruba land today, and I can tell you that none of them is representing our people. So let's now quickly read about the King's speech. I want to see if I can find a video as well. Kafi compare with kí ló dé tí tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa táwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wa àwọn náà lè ṣe bí ti ìlú yìí, is because wọ́n rí àwa. Okay, I found the video on Sky News. I want to see if it's okay. It's on their website. Why is it not on there? All right. Ẹ má bínú lẹ́ẹ̀kan sẹ́ńtẹ̀ wà níbí báyìí. Ẹ má bínú. Like I told you earlier, I really need this phone to operate with. Ẹ má bínú, I've not been using the software. It's nothing but the fact that we've just been very busy. So, King's speech. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wá the King's speech, Daddy. So let's see if I can play it from here. Mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí kábíyèsí wa mo kí gbogbo lílẹ̀ nǹkan ṣe má bínú pé àìtí ìdárúkọ yín. It's about 12 minutes 44 seconds. Màá fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ gbọ́, and then bẹ́ ṣe ń gbọ́ yẹn, I want you to start asking yourself, Koiki, if all this is happening like this, kí ló dé tí tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa náà rí báyìí? ẹ jẹ́ ká advert yẹn lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká advert yẹn lọ kò sí nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe àwọn lọ ní platform wọn. So let's give you the video as we have it.
And members of the House of Commons, my government
Can you
will
switch off that light for me,
service
please?
to the country.
No, this one.
My government's legislative program will be mission-led and based upon the principles of security, fairness, and opportunity for all. Stability will be the cornerstone of my government's economic policy, and every decision will be consistent with its fiscal rules. It will legislate to ensure that all significant tax and spending changes are subject to an independent assessment by the Office for Budget Responsibility. Bills will be brought forward to strengthen audit and corporate governance alongside pension investment.
I want you to take note of that word. My government. My ìjọba tèmi. In tí wọ́n máa ṣe faraàlú. It's not the other way around in Nigeria. Tí ọba ò lè sọ tí wọ́n máa ṣe faraàlú. I know bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó lè difficult fáwọn kankan láti gbọ́. Don't blame yourself for that. My government, òun ló ní government ẹ̀. Ask yourself, why títọ̀dọ̀ tiwa náà rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Let's go back to the video again. Mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí o.
Securing economic growth will be a fundamental mission.
Securing a economic growth will be a fundamental. We told you that Bola Tinubu's government, as we speak right now, is currently in a danger zone. 108% is the current inflation of Nigeria. Tinubu does not have any respect for any of the kings because the kings are not the one directing Tinubu on their behalf. Tinubu don't direct an Oba, and that's why we keep hearing Oba Olóṣèlú, Oba Olóṣèlú. You can see the massive difference between the monarchy system in UK and the monarchy system in Yoruba land. Remember, it was a deliberate act to bring down our royal institution and subject them under a fraudulent civil service or civil servant called the local government that are not working. Many of us need to understand that Nigeria will never work. It is a deliberate act. Let's come back to the video.
The government will seek a new partnership with both business and working people and help the country move on from the recent cost of living challenges by prioritizing wealth creation for all communities. My ministers will establish an industrial strategy council.
I want you to keep hearing that word. My. Àwọn tó wà lábẹ́ mi. Àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún mi ni wọ́n. The politicians in UK are all working for the king. Ọba ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún. But in reverse, in Yoruba land today, they are working for themselves and they care less whether your king is there or not. Let me say this again. None of you understand that the King Charles of Bale, UK, only my ministers will ensure that they work quickly to resolve the poverty, the housing problem, the deeds, gbogbo tó ń dun aráàlú tó wà lábẹ́ òun, because gbogbo wa la wà lábẹ́ ọba. Like I said to you, don't let anybody fool you. I'm a Christian. Don't let Koiki tell you nonsense on his platform. Oh. Tell that you're Christian whether they swear allegiance to the king when they were getting their British passport. Apart from those that were born here, that doesn't have to go through that route. But somebody must have done it, or maybe they were lucky, like some of our brothers and sisters, that got their British passport before Margaret Thatcher stopped the law. That if you're giving back here, you have automatic citizenship. Margaret Thatcher will stop òfin yẹn. So when we are here sitting down and telling you that they have deliberately brought down our royal institution in Yoruba land, I noticed King Charles was saying, my government, what of the Prime Minister of UK, is working for the... When Keir Starmer became the Prime Minister, ó kọ́kọ́ lọ confirm pẹ̀lú ọba whether bóyá ọba fàṣẹ sí pé kóun lọ form government. Maybe you didn't know that. After Rishi Sunak lost the election that took place some few weeks ago, he resigned. He went to tender his application. Before he came out to resign, ó kọ́kọ́ lọ tender resignation ẹ̀ fọ́ba, ìyẹn King Charles. That is the process. Rishi Sunak first, before speaking to the public, because òun kọ́ ló fi rẹ̀ síbẹ̀, even though we voted for him, he is serving under the monarchy system tó ń pè ní King Charles. So ó kọ́kọ́ padà lọ síbẹ̀, ó lọ ṣe kí ni? Ó lọ sọ fún ọba pé òun máa resign ìjọba tí òun ṣe yìí o, nítorí pé àwa aráàlú tá dìbò a ní confidence in conservative anymore, but aráàlú kọ́ ló máa fún the final say. It is King Charles. Gbọ́ mi yé, ó dàbí bàbá wa Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀, Ọ̀jájá the second, àwọn ló yẹ kó máa pàṣẹ fún Tinubu lábẹ́ Yorùbá government, àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé a nílò that kind of government lọ́jọ́ iwájú. But as it stands right now, lẹ́ni wọ́n wá ní wọ́n ń pe ọba sí Àbújá. Oh my Lord, kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Wọ́n á ní wọ́n ń pe ọba, wọ́n rí kọ́ làwọn ọba kọ́ máa bọ̀ l'Àbújá, ká kúlù fáwọn politician tó jẹ́ pé ọdún 8 ló ní. Ó wá ìbòlá Arẹ́gbẹ́ mú gbogbo ló wà lẹ́nu nísìn. After tó darí gbogbo Ọ̀ṣun, tó da àwọn ọba kan rú, òun náà ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ l'Ọ̀yọ́ state nísìn. Ṣèyí Mákindé, wọ́n náà fẹ́ ta position ní city Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó fẹ́ ṣe nísìn, wọ́n ní ó ń pín owó káàkiri. Bàbá yìí kí ló ń pín owó fún? Kí ni ò ń pín owó fún nígbà tó bá mọ̀ pé aráàlú máa nífẹ̀ẹ́? Kí ló ń pín owó fún? Tí fá bá mú ẹ, definitely a máa accept ẹ. But nítorí pé ìran ẹ̀ ó ti ní lineage pẹ̀lú Fúlàní, a máa ṣe program yẹn lọ́tọ̀. Mo kàn jẹ́ kẹ́ lè ní understanding pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni ní King Charles yìí o, King Charles tó sọ̀rọ̀ èní ni o, ó ní my government, òun lòun níjọba, òun lòun ní government. Mo mọ̀ paná yẹn sọ́ra reflection yẹn kó má pọ̀ jù. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sórí fídíò yẹn. I will try not to interrupt, ká lè tètè gbọ́. Àwa ṣe analysis lé lórí.
It is my government's objective to see rising living standards in all nations and regions in the United Kingdom. My ministers will get Britain building, including through planning reform, as they seek to accelerate the delivery of high-quality infrastructure and housing. They will also pursue sustainable growth by encouraging investment in industry, skills, and new technologies. My government is committed to making work pay and will legislate to introduce a new deal for working people, to ban exploitative practices and enhance employment rights. It will seek to establish the appropriate legislation to place requirements on those working to develop the most powerful artificial intelligence models. My government believes that greater devolution of decision-making is at the heart of a modern dynamic economy and is a key driver of economic growth. And my ministers will introduce an English devolution bill. Legislation will be introduced to give new powers to metro mayors and combined authorities. This will support local growth plans that bring economic benefit to communities. A bill will be introduced to allow local leaders to take control of their local bus services. My ministers will bring forward legislation to improve the railways by reforming rail franchising, establishing Great British Railways, and bringing train operators into public ownership. Taken together, these policies will enhance Britain's position as a leading industrial nation and enable the country to take advantage of new opportunities that can promote growth and wealth creation. My government recognizes the urgency of the global climate challenge and the new job opportunities that can come from leading the development of the technologies of the future. It is committed to a clean energy transition, which will lower energy bills for consumers over time. A bill will be introduced to set up Great British Energy, a publicly owned clean power company headquartered in Scotland, which will help accelerate investment in renewable energy, such as offshore wind. Legislation will be brought forward to help the country achieve energy independence and unlock investment in energy infrastructure. A bill will be introduced to support sustainable aviation fuel production. My government recognizes the need to improve water quality, and a bill will be introduced to strengthen the powers of the water regulator. My government will seek to strengthen the border and make streets safer. A bill will be introduced to modernize the asylum and immigration system, establishing a new border security command and delivering enhanced counter-terror powers to tackle organized immigration crime. Legislation will be brought forward to strengthen community policing, give the police greater powers to deal with antisocial behavior, and strengthen support for victims. Measures will be introduced to improve the safety and security of public venues and help keep the British public safe from terrorism. My government will bring forward plans to halve violence against women and girls. My ministers will seek to raise educational standards and break down barriers to opportunity. Action will be taken to get people back in employment following the impact of the pandemic. A bill will be introduced to raise standards in education and promote children's well-being. Measures will be brought forward to remove the exemption from value-added tax for private school fees, which will enable the funding of 6,500 new teachers. My government will establish Skills England, which will have a new partnership with employers at its heart, and my ministers will reform the apprenticeship levy. Legislation will be introduced to give greater rights and protections to people renting their homes, including ending no-fault evictions and reforming grounds for possession. Draft legislation will be published on leasehold and commonhold reform. A bill will be introduced to establish an independent football regulator to ensure greater sustainability in the game and strengthen protections for fans. My government will improve the National Health Service as a service for all, providing care on the basis of need, regardless of the ability to pay. It will seek to reduce the waiting times, focus on prevention, and improve mental health provision for young people. It will ensure mental health is given the same attention and focus as physical health. My ministers will legislate to modernize the Mental Health Act so it is fit for the 21st century. A bill will be introduced to progressively increase the age at which people can buy cigarettes and impose limits on the sale and marketing of vapes. Ministers will also legislate to restricted advertising of junk food to children, along with the sale of high caffeine energy drinks to children. A draft bill will be brought forward to ban conversion practices. My government will take steps to help rebuild trust and foster respect. Legislation will be brought forward to introduce a duty of candor for public servants. A bill will be introduced to establish a statutory armed forces commissioner to act as a strong, independent champion for our gallant armed forces and their families. Legislation on race equality will be published in draft to enshrine the full right to equal pay in law. My government will strengthen its work with the devolved governments in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, so that the best outcomes possible are delivered for citizens across the United Kingdom. My ministers will establish a new Council of the Nations and Regions to renew opportunities for the Prime Minister, heads of devolved governments, and mayors of combined authorities to collaborate with each other. My government will continue to support the political institutions and devolved government in Northern Ireland. In consultation with all parties, measures will be brought forward to begin the process of repealing and replacing the Northern Ireland Troubles Legacy and Reconciliation Act 2023.
Measures. Can you turn the light from there before you go, please? Thanks. Ṣé rántí pé ibi tí mo ti mú ọ̀rọ̀ routers jáde nìyẹn. Let's go back to mo kí gbogbo apẹ krọlẹ because we have 1 hour, but I would really appreciate every one of you, before the end of the program. I saw that comment that somebody says that the Prime Minister wrote it. The King is just reading it out. Who is working for who is the question. Is the Prime Minister working on his own, or is he working on behalf of the King? Let's continue swiftly. Let's go back to where we started the program from. Atigbon Kotobaso, ó ti lay a lot of points tó ní government òun máa ṣe àtàwọn cabinet òun. Now, lára tí ọba sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, òun ni ọ̀rọ̀ Northern Ireland tí mo fẹ́ dẹnu padà sí. Why is the Northern Ireland issue very, very important? Why? Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà important ni? It is because the Northern Ireland issue, if care is not taken, all the efforts that they've put together, gbogbo wàhálà tó ti ṣe láti ìgbà tí wàhálà yẹn ti ń bọ̀, can go back in flame again. Let's read that article. Atigboni ọ̀dọ̀ King. Let's go back to it here. According to Reuters, British government to scrap Northern Ireland amnesty scheme. The Belfast, July 17, Reuters, Britain's new government said on Wednesday, 17th of July 2024, it will scrap an amnesty scheme for ex-soldiers and militants involved in decades of violence in Northern Ireland that has been opposed by all major parties in the region and by the Irish government. The move fulfills a promise in the Labour Party election manifesto to repeal and replace the Legacy Act. What is the Legacy Act? That is where I told you I started. Benny, whoever wrote the speech doesn't matter, is who make the speech. Let's go back to that video. I want to take us back to that particular video. I've been watching it now. I've watched up to 1 hour, 54 minutes left. The UK government proposed amnesty for legacy crimes. But what is the legacy crime? Ìyẹn gangan la kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ ní understanding it. Because if we do not know the meaning of the legacy crime, we will not even understand gbogbo tí mò ń sọ látẹ̀kàn. So let's first go back and get to know what is the legacy crime. Mò ń bọ̀. This was February 28, 2024. The UK Northern Ireland amnesty law in breach of human rights and court rules. Belfast, the offering of Britain of conditional amnesty to ex-soldiers and militants involved in the Northern Ireland decade of violence is in breach of the European Convention on Human Rights. Belfast High Court ruled in Wednesday. That was in February. Judge Adrian Colton said the section of the new law introduced last year to offer immunity from persecution for those who cooperated fully with the new investigative body should be disapplied. The contentious law sparked more than 20 legal challenges in the Northern Ireland, mostly from victims' family, who said it contravened the European Commissioner for Human Rights and the 1998 peace deal, which is part of Good Friday Agreement, that ended 30 years of bloodshed. Ìjà tí wọ́n jà ó lasted 30 years kó tó di pé there was a Good Friday Agreement in 1997/1998. So why do we want to now create another bloodshed in Nigeria when we can avoid it? That is why I asked the question, is there trouble in Nigeria? Everybody knows that there's trouble. What is the solution to it? Oh, we should just think that the trouble will no, the trouble is going nowhere. If we refuse, look at our Rachel Olatunji, if we refuse to tackle the problem today, what we are saying, Niger break, prison break, economy 8, Tinubu will complete his tenure, the power goes back to the north, we don't even know what the future lays for everybody known as Nigerians, because not everybody has a second nationality. And we remember we have 35 million of Yoruba people living in Nigeria, and we cannot guarantee their future. Because the more we remain in Nigeria, can we guarantee the future? I am not talking about we, the diaspora, our 30 escape. Can we move out 30 million of our people and let our land be taken away from us? So when we are talking about the crime committed by Nigeria, why do we want more crime to be committed? Because it were committed. Àìtíì resolution sí, kò tíì sí peace even after the Biafra Civil War. Kò tíì sí peace even after the EndSARS. Kò tíì sí peace even after many atrocities that have been committed in Yoruba land and against many Nigerians today. So you can see why Ọba ìlú sọ pé for peace to reign, peace tó ti tọ́jú only explode anytime. And not this peace, they've kept it in the cooler, but it keeps rolling up again every now and then. And you know why? Because àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ kó yanjú, wọn ò yanjú ẹ̀. À ń sọ nísìn pé ẹ jẹ́ á yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ jókòó sórí round table. It could take months before we look into it. À sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ilé, wá gbélé wá, à sọ̀rọ̀ ilé pélé. But the most important thing is everybody should think about an independent country. But people say, no, we don't want that. We want to go and protest against end bad governance. Okay, so when you end that bad governance, which one are you going to bring back? In the same one, Nigeria? Why are we living in denial? Let's come back again. I am satisfied that the immunity from the persecution provisions under Section 19 of the Northern Ireland Troubles Act are in breach of the lead applicant right pursuant to Article 2 of the European Commission Human Rights. I am also satisfied that they are in breach of Article 3 of the European Commission Human Rights. This is the judge after the court case. There is no evidence that granting of immunity under the Act will in any way contribute to reconciliation in Northern Ireland. We know that after the whole problem in South Africa, there was reconciliation. There will be a reconciliation when we get to Yoruba land. But for now, don't expect anything to be smooth. But for us to avoid a situation where after many people will be killed, subject to how this movement will end or how Nigeria will even end, because if Nigeria end in a way that is not meant to end, there will not be a conclusive reconciliation among the Igbos, the Hausas, and even within the Yorubas. That is why we are saying that why are we pushing this country into that path? To ma difficult for wa láti reconcile again, láti jókòó pé ìjókòó àlàáfíà. Ẹ rántí pé brother yẹn sọ nínú fídíò wa kan tá máa ń pè pé kò tí ì sí ìjókòó àlàáfíà ní bíbá yó. Ṣé kí nìyẹn? Àwọn ọmọ yẹn sì wọ́n patán ní wọ́n putú ní nínú pápá. Britain Northern Ireland Minister Chris Harris said the government remained committed to implementing the law and that the challenge in Belfast was a complex case. This is a situation that they've resolved certain things, but in 2024, Washington sọ pé wà complex. Ìwọ wá ń sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria wà complex. The country is just too complex, and the best way now is to find a solution to dissolve it and let everybody go their separate ways. Because that complexity of Nigeria, if we remain inside that one Nigeria, we cannot solve it with end bad governance. We cannot solve it with bringing any other person in, regardless of their political affiliation. We should go our separate ways as an independent country and find a lasting solution. So what I'm going to do, just to get the hang of the discussion, I'm going to go back to the video that I was watching earlier, and then we will play a little bit out of it. Then this program, I'm going to start winding it down, but we are not going to complete it today. So mo fẹ́ advert yẹn kó lọ ni. Mo fẹ́ disturb ẹ̀ ń tẹ́ wà lórí bíbá ẹ̀mọ́ again. If not, I should have used the phone here. But let me see if I can bring it from my TV and we kind of manage the sound. But for now, advert is going on. Because mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ analysis tó ń ṣe. It was a 2 hours program. Èmi náà ṣì ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. So Tebanic, Nigeria were complex. Mukiawa San Joe Beauty. It's a very, very complex country. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewind it back. I've watched only 15 minutes. So we're going to listen to the first speaker. So I'm going to just wind it forward. Nibiti's first speaker, Tifesoro. Then I will release it. They're all giving 5 minutes for the presentation. Let's listen. Oh my, can I advert it to listen? It's just too much. All right, let's listen.
20, and since then has served as vice chair. In addition to numerous articles in leading journals, she has published 4 books and has been awarded the
introduction. So let me just fast forward. Now, this is a presentation.
Introduction. We're all just going to speak for about 5 minutes, so I'm going to just make 2 general points. I'm going to start with a point about the wider process that has taken place in terms of the proposals around statute of limitations. And being somebody who worked on the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission, I couldn't help myself, but in my first comment...
This guy was also part of those that was involved in the Truth and Reconciliation in South Africa. So the bloodshed back in Nigeria, our truth and reconciliation. When we can avoid death and bleeding, because already Nigeria, since our 2 mothers have confirmed that they can hear it, I will just go ahead and I will mute Farabale Kajogbon Kotonso, because Timo Bashala Yibai Koiki Kilele ni se pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation. is to avoid death, is to avoid blood, is to avoid anything that we would then come and sit together and our reconciliation. Let's listen.
A little bit about the way the South African Commission is represented in the command paper, because I think it conveys some of the challenges that I'd like to raise. And then I'm going to end off with a little bit more of a psychological comment about the psychological ramifications of this process. So in terms of the first point, and Siobhan mentioned it in her introduction, I think what we're seeing here is essentially a circumvention of a range of processes. Yes, the Stormont House agreement has not been delivered. Proposals around the Eames-Bradley process never quite came to fruition. But there has been a long process unfolding in this society around dealing with the past. And what we've seen more recently is essentially a process which is sort of cut across that, particularly with the idea of the statute of limitations and removing the potential for justice through the courts. And in terms of my first point, I guess the main point is really that what we're seeing here is a set of proposals that are being shaped around a predetermined outcome. And the predetermined outcome is essentially the desire by the British government to ensure immunity for army veterans. And my view of this is that not only does that then circumvent the process that have happened so far.
Ẹ jẹ́ n ṣàlàyé díẹ̀ láàrin yẹn. Nígbà tí ìjà yẹn ń lọ níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn between the British military and the other side, ṣe mọ̀ pé kò sí bó ṣe fẹ́ jà ó máa tàbàrà ilé àtàbàrà àtà àtàwọn tó ń protect àwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn against the British. Everybody will be classified bó ṣe pé Mandela náà ni terrorist. Wọ́n wá ní kó fún wọn ní immunity. Kí ló ń pè ní immunity? Let's just let bygone go bygone. This is what the Nigerian government is doing right now. Lénìí pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní terrorist. Ẹ gbà mí gbọ́. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lórí bíbá. Mo ní láti pull out again. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo bẹ̀ yín ni. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbádùn program yìí, orí platform kejì ẹni kẹ́ lọ dúró lé. Ẹ má bínú. Let me quickly bring something in. Mo gbọ́ fídíò bàbá kan lénìí. Àyà mi dẹ̀ jàṣà. Àyà mi jágbà tó ń gbọ́ fídíò yẹn. Ṣẹ́rẹ́ ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà ń lé màá ṣàlàyé Nàìjíríà fún ẹ. Inú a máa rún ẹ lójoojúmọ́ tó bá ń gbọ́ Nàìjíríà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká líǹkì. Ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ ilé tó ń yé yín? Immunity ni pé àwọn British soldier tó pa àwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn wọ́n ní kó fún wọn ní immunity. Ìmí ti kú nú wọn. Àwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn wá ní no, a fẹ́ immunity. Ṣe rí àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ a máa kó sójà jáde, a máa pa yín. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti kú a máa ṣẹjọ́ yín. Wàláì. Tabadélẹ̀ lérí wa a máa ṣí research center tó máa gbóríṣiríṣi kéèsì wá. Ìjọ òlélẹ̀ kú ní 1940 ló ti kú á dẹ̀ mọ́. Kódà ibòmí à lọ máa dígẹ̀ gbogbo létẹ̀ ti kọ́ yẹn àdáwó because a fẹ́ wo àwọn egungun tó wà níbẹ̀. A lot of things must happen. But ẹ má jẹ́ kó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo fídíò yìí. While I'm looking for that video, màmá play lè lọ mọ́ bọ̀.
Is it's actually led to a set of illogical and unconvincing justifications for this process. So by way of example, in the command paper, the British government selectively rely on the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission to support their attempts at amnesty. And this uses what is best described, I suppose, as a pick and mix approach. So the current proposals in the command paper basically emphasize the victim hearing component of the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where 23,000 victims came forward and gave testimony, and it talks about the importance of healing.
Did you hear that? 20,000 colloquy. 20,000 people came to give witness. Ṣé rántí pé wọ́n ṣe similar thing pẹ̀lú after tí gbogbo ọ̀nà Abacha nǹkan kan yẹn, but there was not an iota of truth in those reconciliation.
Of suffering and ultimately reconciliation that flowed from that process. Now, certainly what we know from research,
30 minutes
also from those of us who worked on that process, is that's only partially true. Certainly for some victims, that was the outcome for them, but for a huge number of others, that was not the outcome. It was significantly more ambivalent as to whether.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká pause eléyìí, ẹ gbọ́ eléyìí, ìgbà tèmi náà gbọ́ àyà mi já. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí Ṣẹ́gun ọ̀nà, mo kí easy, mo kí gbogbo yẹn wa. Nectech, good evening. Bàbá mi Adéọ̀ṣun, mo kí yín. Let's listen to this guy.
A military operations conducted by the Northeast Joint Task Force of Operation Hadinkai said the over 277 civilian victims were rescued in Dikwa, Bama, and Mongono local governments. The Deputy Theatre Commander of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Kane Chibu, while handing over the rescued civilians, called
Kilo to fast. Ṣé mi ni mo ṣe kó fast àbí látọ̀dọ̀ ẹni? Okay, it's mama. Okay, bẹ́ẹ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ ẹni. Continue.
Terror bearing arms against the Nigerian state to surrender and embrace peace, saying the army is not interested in prolonging the fight as it wished the resources to be channeled into development of Northeast region.
The Nigerian military is not interested in this fight. We consider them our brothers and sisters. We want peace to...
Am I in heart attack? A Nigerian military man is telling us that we want peace with our brothers and sisters. Who are the brothers and sisters? Boko Haram. Moke, it is King AY. Àwọn Boko Haram tó ń gé wa lórí, tó ń jí wa gbé, wọ́n ní we want peace with them. Ẹ jẹ́ ká rewind video yẹn ká gbọ́ again.
A military operations conducted by the Northeast Joint Task Force of Operation Hadinkai said the over 277 civilian victims were rescued in Dikwa, Bama, and Mongono local government.
270 victims. Now they are victims. They are no more terrorists. They are just average citizens that they got kidnapped, and they are now victims. But listen further.
The Deputy Theatre Commander of Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Kane Chibu, while handing over the rescued civilians, called on terrorists bearing arms against the Nigerian state to surrender and embrace peace, saying the
terrorists bearing arms against the government and all we Nigerians that we say we are not in danger, there is no trouble, that we want peace with them. Afẹ́ àlàáfíà pẹ̀lú wọn. Kódà what in wọn ṣàlàáfíà. Remember, Tinubu said they should release them back into the society.
Bearing arms against the Nigerian state to surrender and embrace peace, saying the army is not interested in prolonging the fight as it wished the resources to.
The Nigerian army is not ready for a long fight anymore. They are tired. Fighting the Boko Haram is exhausting them. They want something else done. They don't want the fight in Boko Haram. They want to go and fight outside. I don't know who they want to fight when our land and our community are not safe. Army support is swung. Do you know what that means? We are all on our own. Oyo lowa. So we Oyo ni mo wa. Oyo lowa. Let's continue.
Is to be channeled into development of Northeast region.
The Nigerian military is not interested in this fight. We consider them our brothers and sisters. We want peace to reign. So the earlier they come out, the better for us. All the funds used in prosecuting this fight can be channeled to other developmental process and opportunities for the betterment of the state and the people in general.
Nigeria matter.
And gentlemen, you see, the video you just watched at the beginning of this video is a video where it was reported that over 220-something people were rescued from bandits or kidnappers or terrorists in Borno State. You know, which is a very big win for the Nigerian army. That is very good. But you see, the reason why insurgency and all this banditry have not ended or is gaining more root in Nigeria is because of our Nigerian army. It's because of our Nigerian army. Because why? Just imagine the statement Major General Ken Chibu is saying there, that the Nigerian army is not ready for this fight, that the bandits should come and surrender. The earlier they do that, the better for us. The money that is being used to fight insurgency in the country can be put into some other things and what have you. a major general in the Nigerian army coming out to address the public. You know, he's saying that the bandits, they see them as brothers and sisters.
Now,
Instead,
yes, they are brothers and sisters. I have evidence. Remember, they are our brothers and sisters. Awati gbàgbé. Media ò kí ń gbàgbé. That's why you have media to remind our brains once in a while.
Your name?
I'm Mustapha by name.
Huh?
Mustapha.
What local government?
Local government.
Where are you from?
I'm from my town.
Where in my town? Where are you from originally?
Kaduna State.
From where?
Kaduna State.
Kaduna State.
I'm Alkali Monde by name.
Okay.
Yes, I'm from Kaduna State.
Okay.
I'm living in Kampala with my brother.
With your brother?
Yes.
And you are coming out under what local government?
Lagos Island.
Local government.
Yes.
Do you have a family house in Lagos Island?
No.
Okay. What's your name?
Luka David.
What?
Luka David.
Luka.
David.
Where are you from?
From Kaduna State.
Kaduna State. What local government are you coming out from?
Oshodi.
Who gave you the indigenship certificate?
National.
What's your name?
Zakaria Arab.
Where are you from? Kaduna State. Ah,
Lagos.
Lagos. Where did you get the indigenship certificate from?
I'm staying with my uncle. So
Your uncle, speak up, please.
I'm staying with my uncle. Let's not connect now.
Shogba Yoruba. Shogba Yoruba.
I can hear, but I can't.
Shogba Yoruba. Shogba Yoruba.
No, ma.
Shogba Yoruba.
Yes, I can hear you.
Gbàmí lóhùn padà ní Yorùbá. Níbo ló ń gbé?
Kí lorúkọ ẹ?
Ṣọgbà Yorùbá. Níbo ló ń gbé? Níbo ló ń gbé? Ta ló fún ẹ ní certificate? Ta ló fún ẹ? Ta ló fún ẹ? Ta ló fún ẹ? Local government tó ló ṣe wá? Tó sọ fẹ́.
Hello.
Hello.
Ṣé wọn pa wà lórí program?
Okay. Mo rí pé wà lórí live but mo believe pé ṣé kò tí sáyé láti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀.
Ẹ dá sí ní kíákíá. Ẹ̀sán tẹ̀fẹ́ sọ ń gbọ́ yín.
Okay. Ṣẹ́rí mọ̀kọ́tẹ́ ìjọ sọ̀tà ni pé ṣẹ́rí àwọn tó bá mọ ó yẹ kẹ́yìn kan bóyá kẹ́ try kẹ́ sọ lórí program yìí. Ẹ tètè máa raise wọ́n ní pé àwọn tó bá mọ Tinubu wọ́n èdè máa sọ fún pé àwọn nǹkan tó bá máa wúlò ní tó bá máa wúlò kó máa wúlò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó lè tẹ̀ máa kó ọkọ̀ l'Àbújá because nǹkan tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ nǹkan tó bá ṣẹ̀ yìí kò ní easy fún òun náà tó bá máa rí nǹkan tẹ̀sẹ̀ bọ́ ara ń pa àwọn èèyàn bí tálẹ̀ o bóyá kẹ́ sọ lórí program wa. Àwọn tó máa mọ̀ pé ó máa wúlò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kó lè ṣe máa pàtó kó láti fẹ́ ó yìí dábàá ọ̀fẹ́ mi kọ̀ fẹ́ sọ nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni. Tàbárẹ̀ ní tó fẹ́ pè náà, this program ends in 27 minutes 3 hours náà ni +44 74 044 05917. Tí bá ní kí n máa play video ti bí yẹn lọ lẹ́ǹkan again a máa mórí fọ́ wa but wọ́n sọ fún wa ní wọ́n nìyẹn wọ́n gbọ́ Yorùbá fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ we were warned that bàbá yìí Jagaban yìí lóòótọ́ ó jáde ọmọ Yorùbá lòun sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ fi Yorùbá ṣàfihàn tán ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ but máa yín sàn kankan fún wa àti gbàgbé ni ń bọ̀ mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ǹkan sí mo kí gbogbo wa kí ló sọ.
Religious Islamic element in the Yoruba ethnic group to use them to destabilize that mighty people who have built empires like Oyo and other places long before anything. But they are looking for some weak elements. Like Tinubu is a weak element. People think he's powerful, but he's a...
Why is Tinubu a weak element? Because the whole thing is getting a little bit confusing. I'm trying to tell you that the situation in Northern Ireland is still complex, even after the Good Friday Agreement. Why are we now trying to keep something that is so complex like Nigeria that needs to be dissected, allowed to free itself, but they are just so adamant? And that is the reason why they want to keep one Nigeria. One Nigeria is not for us. One Nigeria is not good for us. One Nigeria should be allowed to dissolve itself. The cries, the pain will continue if we remain one Nigeria. So let me appreciate our people that have been with me for 2.5 hours. It's not easy buying data, watching me, and contributing. So Kamawa, so let me just appreciate you, and then I can end this program because Ofema Mori for me more understand, because she Tinubu she wo she gbogbo tan so yi she tó bá tẹ̀ rí ní spiritual realm tó de differ fún wọn, but he can see it himself. Tinubu is not new lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pé kí Nàìjíríà kó dàwó. Ó sọ fún rẹ̀, mo sọ fún yín, Bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú lélẹ̀. Bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú, the lottery cars of Nigeria feels honor and glad that kí ni Délé Momodu nìyẹn o. Àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ ṣe bí bàtẹ́ pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀. Bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú is highly honored and glad that the First Lady, Olúrẹ̀mí Tinubu, accepted to personally declare open the extraordinary medical heaven in Lagos. Ẹ jẹ́ kí èmi kí àwọn èèyàn mi tàjọ wà lórí program látàárọ̀. Ẹ̀yin lẹ jẹ mí lógún níbí báyìí. Ẹ̀yin gangan ni Koikimedia. Without you, it's a waste of time sitting here for the last 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So let me just appreciate you before we end the program. Mo kí gbogbo Koikimedia team láì yọ ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀. And if I can steal your comment, I'll still read them out as well. We've touched a lot of areas, but lórí ti Northern Ireland yẹn, I just want you to know, Kunle Bakers, ó pẹ́ díẹ̀, àbẹ́ travel ni. Thanks so much. I know you've been very busy, and we appreciate the super chat as well. One of our regulars on the super chat, our Comfort Ologunjo. Àtẹ̀yìn tó kù náà, kẹ́hìn sọ pé Koiki kò pọ̀. Ṣànáwó sí ẹ. We appreciate what you're doing, lọ́sàn-án lóru, educating us. Ó dẹ̀ ti dé ọ̀rọ̀ ìpèdé, ó ti dínkù díẹ̀, but túbọ̀ try and gbìyànjú. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, and Yekini Mustapha mo kí ẹ. Let me appreciate you all from the beginning. Mr. Denini, Koiki, my brother, good evening. I really believe on you so much. I will use my data for Yoruba Nation bumper to bumper. I am in a beer parlor right now. I am enjoying you. Some of my friends are saying, me and this Yoruba Nation, I don't know whether you're still there. Thank you so much. I mean, we can't force anybody. For Yoruba Nation, Moki brother me, Akorede, Oladepo, Clement Ogun, Bade Mokinsa, Yekini Mustapha Banki Sheikh no, Moki Bubo Yite wa Nigeria, Atayite ni Irolampa, no problem. Mr. Ade K. Bensini, kò sígbà tí má kú òní kú òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nigeria. Honorable Kofo Rayi, àbí Fowó Rayi dẹni, ẹ ṣé gan ni, thanks so much. Ìyá mi, brother mi ni Gbọ́láhàn Aliu, ẹ ṣé gan ni mo kí yín. Kò sí kankan tó ń jẹ́ lazy youth nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, bí nǹkan ṣe rí náà ló jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo ṣe máa ń sọ tó bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa ni, ó yẹ kí n lè sọ pé it is King Ewa, sáré send 10,000 sí mi, pounds ni o, kó dẹ̀ yá mi títí di next month máa fi gbowó oṣù ni o. So Ọlárìndé Emmanuel mo kí yín. Mr. Ibrahim Ọlá mo kí yín. Àwọn tó ṣì wà lórí Facebook nìyẹn, so ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí platform wa tó kù náà. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn medias wa, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa tún wò náà, mo ń kí yín sílẹ̀, ẹ̀yin silent listener. Àìtí gba country o, ẹ má kí àwọn Wálé Àlè, wọn ló ṣe program lórí ẹni tó rí ń ta, ẹni kó padà lọ sí country ẹ̀ kó yẹ pa pound sterling, ló ń sọ fẹ́yìn kóun ti gba country. Who is fooling who? So gbogbo àwọn yẹn irrelevant people ni wọ́n, they are irrelevant people. So jẹ́ nkí àwọn tèmi tó wà lórí Koikimedia Odùduwà, So katowa kantowa lori YouTube. We will continue again tomorrow. But Abolaji Abdullah, only 1914 amalgamation is a fraud. OT expire 14 years ago. OTF expire by Mr. Sunday Mokinsa. Koiki, I love your slogan, Bombaster. I like it, Mr. Sunday. Oni Koiki, sorry, Bombaster. My kokuro lenu Bombaster. Muki Mr. Matthias Olugbenga Aderibigbe. One no to restructuring, no to Nigeria, yes to Yoruba nation no going back. Baba mi Onadiola Fortune Michael Muki, Iyami Victoria Grandma Muki, Ayinde Usman. Salamu alaikum daddy. Gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà tó yẹ kó máa gba pension yín wọ̀ san fún yín, owó ìtọ́jú tó yẹ kó máa fún yín, wọ́n fún yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣáà ń ṣe rábàràbà robo. Tokyo 77 ni Tinubu is a weak element due to selfish interest. Well, náà máa rí nítorí ẹ̀ máa rí níbi tó ń bọ̀ báyìí nísìnyí. Mr. Ọlá Akínyẹmí mo kí yín. So lórí ibẹ̀ yẹn nìyẹn. Now let's come to the YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels, Koikimedia and the backup channel. Mo kí ẹ easy, brother mi ní gbogbo Miami. Adams Olamilekoni, what is coming that Yoruba people don't prepare is going to be late because their plan now is to use Yoruba land as their battlefield. Àtẹ̀nígbà yẹn, wọ́n nílò ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fún battlefield. The battlefield must go across every part of Nigeria. So, tó bá ti di pọ́ fẹ́ lò fún battlefield, we will flush them out. So, we will monitor things, and I can assure you that we are going to monitor things. Tó bá fẹ́ protest, only protest, but they're not going to use it as the battlefield. So, bí ẹ ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. Let's go further. Mo kí bàbá wa Tíó, yeah, Mr. Shegun Yovo, Otojo Meta, Mobolaji Abdullahi. Mo kí àwọn tó wà lórí MixLR, Alao Baba, Ogunmola Abiodun, and the rest of you as well. Ìyàwó Comfort Ológunjà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, Bàbá Fatai yẹn, bí a, èmi ló ń bá sọ̀rọ̀, bí a kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe mi. But like I said, tẹ́ bá wá sórí platform, ẹ má, especially tẹ́ bá wà very hot, ẹ má tó add nǹkan kan tó lè máa fún wa ní, I mean, we love feedback, but we don't want anybody to come and contradict what we are saying here. Ìyàwó Bólúwatifẹ́, mo kí àwọn Yorùbá World Media. Ìyàwó Ọlájírè Kókà, mo kí Tóbi Ìwàlóye. Thanks so much. Mo kí brother wa Fatai Aziz. Ìdòwú ẹni afẹ́, mo kí ìyàwó Sherifat, bàbá wa Adélẹ́yẹ Táíwò. And I think that's bàbá wa Oyèrónkẹ́ Ọláníyàn, mo kí sir. Mr. Wale Ikujimi, Adams Olamilekon. We were unable to get to the MixLR, Twitter space. Thanks so much, all the people that joined me, about 67 of you. And I know there's some anonymous there because they're thinking maybe since Koiki doesn't agree with them, we respect everybody as long as you respect my platform. So that's the most important thing. And as I'm going to be leaving now, let me appreciate everyone that have joined us and those that will be watching the program. All I would say is Nigeria is in trouble and we need to get the hell out before it is too late. Koma Deba Lojiji. Mr. Perry, Rahim Abbas. Yeah, finished now. Yawa Comfort Ologunja. I cannot stop appreciating you and the rest of you as well. Sanjo Beauty. Disturb it, just block them and let them go. So, yes, you're right, Mr. Perry. I noticed the King Charles was saying my government, Babawa Diola, Oni, Moki, Okewo Taiwo, Silver Badmos, Mr. Gboyega, Usman Wahab, Moki Wentawanikwara, Mr. Victor, Tony Ages, Triple DRS, and the rest of you that I didn't mention. Mr. Tunji Akunda, let me go because it's been a long day. Yoruba Nation is for life. Moki Grandma Felicia, Moki Mom Simino. And on that note, I will say, Ishe wa funlewa, forile ibiwa, kagbega, kagbega, kagbega faleri, ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé láti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá, ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira, ní kẹjẹ ká máa lépa, ìtẹ̀síwájú, fọ́pọ̀ ire, àtòhun tó dára, ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ Ògo Adúláwọ̀. Yoruba nation.
Now.
Yoruba nation.
Now.
Now. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun ọ̀nà. Ọlákúnlé tèmi. Keep the tab on. Orí ń ta bọ̀bọ́ yẹn má dá lóhùn. Office taking máa bá wọn ṣe fracas. Ṣé fracas làwa gbé dání ni? Èmi ò ní time yẹn. Iṣẹ́ pọ̀ tá a fẹ́ ṣe 1 minute. I have not closed the broadcast, okay? Be patient. So thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Bye for now.
I closed it now.
No, I have to close it one at a time. So just bear with me.